Go.
All right,
You're on.
good evening, everyone. We're going to call to order our January 4th, 2021 Special Virtual Finance and Purchasing Committee. Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome,
Present.
Alderman Moiseo,
Here.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Present.
Alderman Rivera,
Present.
Alderman Seager.
Present.
Roll call. Approval of the minutes. I'll take a motion by Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Seager, to approve the minutes from December 21st, 2020 Virtual Finance and Purchasing Committee. Are there any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Aye.
Alderman Rivera,
Aye.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye, motion carried. Public comment. Clerk Kilkelly, are there any questions, any comments?
Alderman Newsome, there have been no comments for your committee.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move to item 2, new business. Item A, motion to authorize the mayor to issue a change order in the amount of $13,643.92 to Axon, a contract approved on April 23rd, 2020 by City Council for the purpose of police-related technology, including interview rooms, cameras, etc. This will bring the total contract value to a revised, not to exceed amount of $1,967,677.07. I'll take a motion by Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Kirkwood. This is to add another camera. We have 8 now, and this to outfit another camera. Are there any questions to this motion? Alderman Rivera? You're muted.
Okay, I'm sorry. So we're gonna have a total of 9 cameras then, or is this an
9.
additional 9 for the soft interview rooms? We only have one soft interview room?
We're gonna have a total of 9 cameras is my understanding. Let's see. Originally, we requested to outfit 8 interview rooms with Axon cameras. However, to include a soft interview room, we require another camera.
All right, thank you.
Any more questions? Alderman Taylor?
What is a soft interview room?
Is the chief on?
I mean,
Yep, I'm on.
Okay, chief.
Good evening, Alderman. Thanks for the opportunity to answer that. So basically, a soft interview room is a room that is more outfitted where we would interview juveniles or even children victims or even adult victims of that matter. And also sensitive type witnesses in that. It actually, unlike the other rooms, it's outfitted with a cloth couch, cloth chairs. There's actually some artwork on the wall and kind of, if you will, a coffee table. So definitely not a room that where we would take suspects or for that matter.
important to have cameras.
Yes, ma'am.
It is. I mean, it is. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Any more questions?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, chief. Any more questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera,
Aye.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye, motion carried. Item B, motion to authorize the mayor to issue a change order in the amount of $51,993.61 to Stuckey Construction Company, a contract approved on August 3rd, 2020 by City Council for the purpose of police facility improvements, including the expansion of the female locker room and evidence storage. This will bring the total contract value to a revised not to exceed amount of $429,993.61. This project utilizes 2018 BGO bond funds. I'm going to take a motion by Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Seager. And this is to, I'm sure everyone read their packet. We had The locker rooms only accommodate really 16 female officers. And we currently have, we just hired a 20th. So we need to expand that area. So to accommodate the lockers. And also, this will be a part of the patrol ET lab. I guess some construction converting that from 2 labs to 1 lab. Alderman Kirkwood?
So in terms of the facilities for the females, how many additional spaces will we have once this construction is done? So it's not just going to fill 20 or 25. Hopefully, we're going to look long-term, so we're hiring more females. So what is that number, Chief, that capacity will be at?
I think in the packet, I saw 2 quotes. One was we were gonna add, I wanna say 14 or 19 more lockers.
Okay,
I gotta look at I'm sorry, I gotta look at the last quote. I got my paperwork online, but if I go onto my computer, I'm gonna lose everybody here.
no, that's fine. I just want to make sure that we're looking long-term as we
Right.
hire more females come on board, that we don't have to keep looking at reconstruction, that we have those facilities for our female officers
Sure.
already in place.
No, absolutely, Alderman, definitely understandable. I'd have to look at the paperwork, but our next room is not just to go by one.
Okay.
Currently, we have 19 lockers shoved into space that was designed for 16. So I don't know when they did that construction. It might have even been as early as 1985. So that's been kind of the pace.
Yes, okay.
And so I think we should be okay. And to Alderman's point real quick, we had an evidence technician's lab where we process, and then we had a major crime scene unit. And when this plan was first developed 3 years ago, we weren't at that pace. But a couple of years ago, when we started some different hiring techniques and different appeal techniques, our pace has changed a little bit. So we're taking what used to be the old ET lab, which is adjacent to the female locker room, busting out a wall and expanding into there, and then moving the ET lab down the hall. So some of the equipment that was going to go in that ET lab is being retrofitted to fit in this other room.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Alderman.
Are there any more questions? Roll call. Alderman Rivera?
I think Alderman Florian had her hand up first.
She's muted.
You go ahead. You're on the committee. I'll wait.
Okay, thank you. I was just gonna ask, it's indicated as a change order, but I just wanted to find out, is this truly a change order, or is it a new contract that's being put out for additional work?
It's not my understanding that it's a new contract. It's a change order.
We did have this reviewed by Douglas Durando to ensure that it wasn't such a significant change in scope that it would require a new contract and going out to bid. And based on the dollar amount and the circumstance, he felt that it could be treated like a change order. In our city code, it does describe what a change order can be, and that is one of the things that we go through. So it was reviewed by legal counsel.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Alderman Florian?
That was the same question I had.
All right, thank you. Any more questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Rivera,
Aye.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye, motion carried. Item C, motion to authorize the mayor to award a contract to PPI Solutions LLC for plan review and inspection services for an amount not to exceed $90,000 per fiscal year for a period of 5 years, commencing May 1st, 2020 and expiring April 30th, 2025, as recommended by the building commissioner following an RFP process. I'm going to take a motion by Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Kirkwood. The Waukegan Building Department recommends the award of a contract to perform plan review, inspection, and administration services for electrical and solar projects. Under the supervision of the building commissioner, the contractor will conduct on-site inspections of electrical and solar installations, communicate with permit applicants, contractors, and city staff, track and enter plan review, inspection results, and notes into computer database. The question that I had was regarding the 5-year contract, and I see that this is a set fee of $75 per year. I mean, per hour, excuse me, $75 per hour. And they will be inspecting different contracts that come in or applications that come in and working under the building commissioner. And this is to help with consistency over the next 5 years. And we have worked with these, with this company in the past. They were the, we had, I believe, 2 bidders, our RFP, 2 bidders. And this one came in, I believe the bidders that bidded for this contract and the next one together. But they wanted to negotiate the price per hour. So we went with the $75 per hour. Alderman Rivera.
Yeah, that was going to be a question that I had. Number one, how did we go out for an RFP on this? Because it seems like if we only received 2 out of all the companies that are out there, we may not have done a good job of getting the communication out there as far as what we had and what we were looking for. That's my first question. You know, what's this process and how did we get out there to communicate? Number 2, I have a concern regarding the 5 years. That kind of locks us into a very, very long time. And I just, you know, I would like for us to revisit that 5-year situation. You know, 3 years to me would probably be the max. And then the third concern that I have is that I believe these individuals, they are individuals. I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they have additional staffing. So as to, let's say one of them gets ill or is out, we don't have a backup for that particular situation, whether it be the electrical inspection or the HVAC.
Mr. Patel, you're on.
Yes, I'm on. Thanks.
Would you like to address some of the questions? Well, I know we spoke earlier today and I had the question about the 5-year and we went over that, you know, that the people that are doing this are familiar with our city codes and building codes and the things, you know, the way we do things, but you can speak in detail.
Sure. Yep. So the RFP bidding process is the same RFP bidding process that all of the city bids and RFPs undergo. We post them online and they go through our process. I think, you know, we received responses. So in speaking about item C and D, we received 1 for each of them. And then there was also another bid turned in. And like Alderman Newsom was saying, they wanted a different price. I don't know why there was not a big response, but it might have to do with, it might be, I don't know. I can't really speak on why there wasn't a large response, but that's what we have to work with. The time frame, the consistency is good for projects that come in, permits that come in, familiarity with the city itself and familiarity with the different projects and contractors and permits that come in. Sometimes a permit, a larger job from start to finish can take, 3+ years. So the time length is good to have that consistency, both for the familiarity with the projects going on and the computer system that we use, the city processes, and consistency financially and budget wise as well is a plus. As far as other employees that they have and taking time off or being sick or something like that, it has come up in the past. If there's an extended period, we haven't had to come across a time that there was an extended period of time out. I know we can't predict the future, but we're always able to manage anytime a sickness or a time off is happens.
Madam Chair, may I speak too?
Yes, Mayor.
Alderman, unfortunately, you don't know this, but if you take a look at our history, we've always had one of each in our what we call technicals, for plumbing, for HVAC, and for electrical. And we've always had one. So whenever one of those individuals did take off, depends on which one it was, Junior Yarzer is our overall building commissioner. He has experience, so he can do some of the medial inspections. To Mike's point about inspection, they set these inspections up based on availability, so that wouldn't be an issue. One of the greatest things we have is our codes. We do not and cannot have different people coming in from building, electrical to HVAC with different ways of using our codes. We need consistency. Our small to mid-size contractors expect that. This is why we went out for the 5-year. It is very, very important that they understand what our codes are, how to read them. Different may come interpret that. Having that consistency within our organization is one of the best things that we have going for it, and it helps out with not only sustainability, but keeping these projects moving along. So while I understand your concern, we do believe this is the best way to go. If we went back from history, Jack Maruck, Jody Landing, and all that, they were here for 20-some years. So that's never been an issue. I don't anticipate it to be one now. So with these particular individuals who've been with us from not only this 4 years, if I'm not mistaken, those two have probably been with us 5 to 6 years prior to that. That is huge as it relates to when they go out on these inspections and expectations contractors have, particularly the smaller ones and the larger ones of who they're doing business with. But thank you for bringing it to our attention, sir.
Are there any more questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
I'm sorry, which one is this one?
Item C for PPI Solutions.
Okay, PPI Solutions. I still have a concern over the amount of years that we're going out for this, and I understand, the issue with consistency. I will agree to it because we do have, but again, I do have a concern regarding the number of years.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye. Motion carried. Item D, motion to authorize the mayor to award a contract to Rivera's Heating and Cooling for plan review and inspection services for an amount not to exceed $67,500 per fiscal year for a period of 5 years commencing May 1st, 2020 and expiring April 30th, 2025, as recommended by the building commissioner following an RFP process. I'm going to take a motion by Alderman Moiseo. Second by Alderman Rivera. No. Or should I do Rivera? Alderman Seager has the same last name as you, Alderman Rivera.
Well, and I have to say that I have to abstain from this vote because I do have a professional and somewhat of a personal relationship with the young man.
Okay. Motion by Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Seager. Are there any more questions to the motion? And they are paid the same amount of $75 per hour. And it's contingent on the amount of inspections and everything that they do. Alderman Kirkwood.
The same question I believe that Alderman Rivera brought up. How did we come about, the $75 per hour? Is that what were we paying them before?
Not per hour, it's per incident.
Well, per incident, whatever that is, per incident, what were we paying them previously? And if it went up, how did we determine that?
It is $75 per inspection, $75 per hour for meetings, site surveys. I'm not, Mr.
It's-
Patel, is it
yeah.
consistent with the past?
This is the same price point that we've been using in the past.
Okay, so it hasn't gone up. Okay.
No.
Okay, that's what I needed to know.
Alderman Turner?
Thank you for the courtesy, Madam Chairman. I just want to point out that it's $75 per incident, and for the electrical inspector, that's at $90,000 per year. That equates to 1,200 separate incidents, whether they are inspections, meetings, and whatever that is. You would need 1,200 of those to work out to $90,000 a year.
Excuse me, their rate is not 90,000 a year. Theirs is
That's
only
what's in his contract. That's what's in his document. That was in his
67,
contract. Yeah, 5 years.
this one is 67,500
That works out,
per year.
yeah, and that works out to 900 different incidents, right? 900 callings to get to 67.5. But for Mr. Jones's 90,000 per year for 5 years, that works out to 1,200 incidents. Also, I would point out that both of those contracts are predated to start May 1st of 2020. That was 8 months ago that we're going to be carrying forward. So there needs to be a deeper look at this stuff. Thank you for the courtesy of hearing me.
All right, thank you.
Alderman, the amount, we've used those, the 1,200 and the 900 figure based on previous inspections over the past, and it's the trend of the inspections and permits that come in.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Patel. Alderman Taylor?
My question was going to be, how many inspections have we done? Like, do we know? Like, for instance, I've had an electrical inspection done through the city, and they're lucky if they're here for 5 minutes. So that counts an incident that we're paying for, but like, do we have more than 1,200? Do we reach the 1,200? Do we fall short? Like, exactly how many? I mean, we must keep record of that.
We do, and I don't have the exact figure for you, but this contract is for an amount not to exceed 90,000 and 67,500. So again, it's not to exceed, and it's based on the 75 per permit review, inspection. It's all the stuff that goes into your any from a residential permit to a commercial storefront to a large warehouse to a big industrial project. All the steps that go into that, from reviewing the permit plans to doing the inspections to doing follow-up inspections. So sometimes a residential inspection might be pretty quick, but there's also commercial and industrial inspections that last quite a while. So that 75 number is consistent across the board.
Alderman Kirkwood?
Can we get a monthly report that comes to the council to let us know exactly what particular buildings, residential, has been inspected every month, so we can kind of keep abreast of how much money are we actually spending, so we don't exceed the amount that we're talking about, the 67 and the 90?
We could put that together.
Mike, hold on. Madam Chairman, there is a monthly report for permits that lists all that already. It's part of your monthly reports. That information is already given to everybody. And it dictates the size of the permit, exactly what they've done. We've been doing this for the last 20 years this way.
Well, we get a report from Ms. Julie now.
Yes, that report is the same. If you look at it, there's one report that just lists the dollar amount, and there's another kind of itemizes address and all that. Unfortunately, we can't, people's addresses on that. But if you want that, Julie can send that to you, just like she sends it to me and Mike and the rest of us. But that's already been done.
Okay.
I think they've been doing that for the last 10 to 15 years as part of the building permit report. But yeah, I get it. It's, yeah. So, okay, we'll get that to you guys. No problem.
All right,
for
thank you,
bringing
Mayor.
that to our attention.
Are there any more questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Aye.
Alderman Rivera,
I'm abstaining.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye, motion carried. Item E, motion to ratify and approve an intergovernmental agreement between the Illinois Department of Public Health and the City of Waukegan for the purposes of maintaining a COVID-19 testing facility. On June 15th, the City Council approved a relatively short-term IGA, an Illinois Emergency Management Agency, relative to the use of city-owned parking lot as a COVID-19 testing site, which has since expired. The management of this site has been taken over by the Illinois Department of Public Health, as reflected in this updated IGA. In addition, snow removal has been added to the IGA to accommodate the winter months. I'm going to take a motion by Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Kirkwood. Are there any questions to this motion? It's pretty self-explanatory in the paperwork. Seeing no questions, roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Aye.
Alderman Rivera,
Aye.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye, motion carried. Number 3, reports and communications. Item A, to discuss an ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed 15,500,000 general obligation bonds, series 2021A, and 32,500,000 taxable general obligation bonds, series 2021B, and for the levy of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay the principal and interest on said bonds for the purposes of refinancing a developer note issued to Bridge McGraw Land LLC. Ms. Tina Smigelski.
Very good pronunciation on that, Alderman Newsome. So we included in the packet, this is for discussion tonight only. We're not asking for a vote. I've also invited Anthony Maselli, who you all have met before from Spear Financial. He's on the Zoom, and Noel, I believe, is on as well. So in December of 2014, the city of Waukegan entered into a redevelopment agreement with Bridge McGaw Land. This was all tied to the TIF district that was established, the McGaw TIF, where Cardinal Health used to be, and we annexed the property at the same time. Part of that redevelopment agreement included a reimbursement for up to $40 million in TIF eligible projects. And that developer note, that IOU, had a 5.5% interest rate attached to it. So since this RDA was entered into, they have submitted for all of those. They did this back in 2015 for up to $40 million of TIF eligible expenses. They were certified and reviewed, and we've been accruing interest ever since. We do make the payments at the end of the fiscal year, up to 90% of the TIF revenue that's collected. We've only been able to make interest payments to date. This does compound monthly. So it's accrued interest plus compounded interest. And as I explained to Alderman Newsome earlier today, we're accruing about $200,000 of interest every month on this obligation. The RDA does have a provision that once TIF revenue is sufficient to support a bond to pay TIF off or pay Bridge off in full, that the city would make best efforts to issue those bonds. Bridge did contact the city and asked for that provision to be triggered in the redevelopment agreement. So we looked at 3 options. We looked at continuing the pay-as-you-go option, which is just, again, paying them 90% of the TIF revenues as that comes in at the end of the fiscal year. We looked at issuing a TIF revenue bond, which only pledge would be the TIF revenues themselves. And then we also looked at doing a general obligation bond that would be abated every year with TIF revenues. So similar to how we have our home rule sales tax bonds, that every year we go, okay, do we have enough in home rule sales tax to pay that principal and interest next fiscal year? Yes, we do. Then we bring the city council an abatement ordinance and we take off the property tax levy specific for those bonds for that next year. So that would be the same structure here. It is $10 to $11 million less in interest and other expenses over the life of the bond to do that GO pledge. It's a much more secure pledge for bondholders. You don't have to have money set aside in an escrow that you would if it was a TIF eligible or a TIF revenue bond only. But eyes wide open, you know, this would be a GO pledge. And if for whatever reason TIF revenues were not sufficient in any given year, that property tax levy would stay on the books for that year. But if we really don't think the TIF revenues are sufficient, we shouldn't be doing a TIF revenue bond either. In that case, those bonds could default if they were TIF revenue bonds. So that's why we worked up this packet for you to give you some time to digest this. As of the end of last fiscal year, we owed $46 million to Bridge. The TIF revenue is about $4 million per year at this point. Kane McKenna did do a study and they felt that the TIF revenues were sufficient to support either a GO bond or a partial TIF revenue bond. If we did do a TIF revenue bond, we wouldn't be able to pay them off in full. So we'd have a TIF revenue bond and we'd still have a developer note. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm sure Anthony can answer any questions you have about, you know, how this would be structured or how it would work in the market. And Noelle, you know, she participated back in 2014, 2015, as I did in the development of this agreement. So we can try to answer any questions that you have at this time.
Are there any questions? Alderman Kirkwood?
In terms of the best for the city interest, can you tell me what is our best solution to this particular issue? Knowing that we're still in a budget deficit with the health emergency that is before us.
Right, so this would, you know, the city has this obligation regardless of what we decide in 2 weeks to do. So we're on the hook for paying Bridge, even if we do nothing. We have to continue paying for this privately placed developer note that the city has directly with Bridge. We issued them an IOU and says, we will pay you 90% of the TIF revenue and anything that's unpaid continues to accrue interest at 5.5%. So this obligation is already on the books. It already exists. So what we're talking about is refinancing, really. One debt, you know, taking out a higher interest rate debt to a lower interest rate. It will become a general obligation though of the city. So it is reported in a different way in our financial statements. This is already reported, but this does become a GO obligation. And as I said, you are running the risk that if TIF revenues aren't sufficient, it would then stay on the property tax levy. That being said, you know, it is replacing one debt for the other. And I would think that the city should look at meeting its obligations and avoiding defaults when possible. And this is a significantly less expensive way of doing a financing than a TIF revenue bond because of the coverage provisions and the added risk to the bondholders. And maybe Anthony can talk a little bit more about the difference in interest between TIF revenue bonds and GO bonds.
Even before, this is Treasurer Schwab, even before that, I totally agree with this. Anytime we can list what's going to cost us year to year and have a plan on how that's going to even decrease greater amount in the near future.
What type of interest rate, if we're paying 5% now, how low can we go to offset some of the deficit that we already are incurring at 5%?
Right, so it's 5.5% on the current private placement note. And based on the current market conditions, we'd be looking at a true interest cost of 2.6% if we do the general obligation TIF double-barreled bond. So we'd go from 5.5% to 2.6%.
Alderman Moiseo?
the TIF revenue bond would be determined by the increase in property value. Am I correct on that?
Any
Or
of
not?
these, all three of these scenarios depend on the incremental revenue going into that TIF district. Bear in mind that when we created this TIF, we annexed it at the very same time.
Right.
And Bridge came in and demolished a lot of the property. So at this point, this TIF district, from a TIF overview, you know, the first couple of years, there wasn't a lot of revenue because they did do so much demolition, right? So they took the EAV down by doing that. They are, I don't believe Noel completely built out, but getting pretty close. So the TIF revenue looks to be pretty consistent at this point.
But my question was, I think maybe Anthony can answer this. You may have already answered it, or Noel. It looks like our TIF revenue from this is only going to increase or at least stay the same, which would then give us a revenue stream or that would be our ability to pay back. Am I correct on that? So I would say that, and you originally said by refinancing, we're going to save $10 million. The value of this property is only going up. It's not going down. So to me, it sounds like a good way to refinance it. Am I right in thinking that? I get it. And Tina, you're a little bit like a lawyer. You always give me the what if. It says if hell freezes over and the bottom falls out, then we have to put this on the property tax. And I get that. And you're obviously doing your job and being doomsday. But it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. Again, this area is only going to increase in value, or at least stay the same. I'm not a real estate projector, but that makes sense to me. And if you're going to save $10 million of interest over time, to me, that's a no-brainer. Am I right on all my assumptions there?
Right. So the way that we structured this, you know, right now the TIF revenue's right at $4 million every year. And the debt service at the highest point is $4 million, and that's in 2036. So if you look at the general obligation bond model that was included in your packet, you can see that there's 130% of revenues to cover the debt service. So we always have around $1 million projected or more in revenues left over. But I'll let Anthony speak to that a little bit too.
Right. Thanks, Tina. That was exactly what I was going to mention. Based on the TIF projections that we used when modeling this, there's 130 to 140 times or 1.3 to 1.4 times coverage. So that would be available expected TIF revenues over debt service for this.
Can we make double payments?
So
not even more.
With all there's a couple ways. So with general obligation bonds, they're not immediately refundable. So unlike your mortgage where you can prepay any time and you can pay extra towards the principal every month if you'd like to, a municipal bond wouldn't be prepayable until 8 to 10 years, depending on when we set that call option. However, if increment continued to accrue and you were collecting increment above the expenditures that you had for the TIF district, at that point, we could refinance the bonds and use that excess increment to pay down the outstanding loan or even pay it off, depending on how much increment you had.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you recall, when we sold the second garage to College of Lake County, we took those proceeds and paid off, it's called defeasance, but we paid off the 2 longest bonds on the outstanding parking revenue bonds that we have.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
So, you know, Noel and Mr. Hewitt will want that excess TIF money for projects, right? And Anthony and I will want to put it in the bank to try to pay the bonds off early. So, you know, we'll have some options, but as Anthony points out, you know, you have to go, wow, people won't buy your bonds if you're immediately going to pay them off. They want to know that they're going to lock in this investment.
We got to make some bondholders got to make some money. I get it.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, are there any more questions on this item, item A? Okay, item B, Ms. Tina, you can.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.
You're welcome. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So we'll bring that back to the next committee meeting and city council for a vote. You know, so if there's any questions or concerns before that time, please let me know. The next item is a formal resolution to formally adopt a policy for our treatment of bad debt. So this is something that we've talked to our auditors about over the last audit, and we finally put this draft together now that we've had the time to work on it. And this is really addressing anything that we bill through our financial ERP system. So water bills, off-duty police, salt, when we sell salt to other governments, things like that. So this is really a policy to formalize our processes in-house, when we can send someone to a collection agency, when we can consider it written off. And there's a couple reasons for this. One is if we have all of these accounts receivables outstanding, and there's a good percentage of them that are not going to be collectible, we're overstating our assets on our balance sheet. So we do record an allowance for doubtful accounts every year. We do that manually, but we really should have something more formalized in place where we're removing those accounts as active in our subsidiary ledger in our financial system. So that lays out this process. We don't specify necessarily what the cutoff is for being sent to a third-party collection agency, and we left that detail out on purpose because collection agencies, they change from time to time. You know, some will say we don't want any debt more than 5 years old, and we'll only work debt that's worth more than $500. So, you know, it depends on collection agencies. We do have a current collection agency in place. They do currently work aged accounts for us, primarily red light tickets, also parking tickets and some water accounts. So we do already have a collection agency agreement in place. That's good for 2 more years. But this is really addressing some of our in-house procedures. We also see more and more, and we anticipate to see this going forward, bankruptcies, foreclosures, and how we treat those as well. So, you know, this lays out by adopting this by resolution, it provides the finance department with real clear guidelines, and it also allows us to give information to customers if needed. If they have questions, why is this happening? We can point them to this resolution should you decide to adopt it.
All right, are there any questions? Thank you, Ms. Tina Smigelski. Being nothing else for the committee, item 4 is adjournment. I'll take a motion by Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Rivera, that we adjourn at 5:58 p.m. Roll call, please.
Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Aye.
Alderman Rivera,
Aye.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye, we are adjourned.
Community development meeting in about 3 minutes. Is that okay? We want longer. We need more time?
No, 6
Okay.
o'clock is fine.
Okay, 6 o'clock. You got it.
Florian. There's Alderman Florian. Okay, Mr. Mosio, you're ready to go. You're live.
All right, call the order for the community development meeting for January the 4th, 2021. Roll call, please.
And I have that at 6:01 PM. Alderman Moiseo,
Here.
Alderman Seeger,
Present.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Present.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Present.
Okay, we have a quorum. Item C, motion to approve the minutes of the regular community development committee meeting of December the 7th, 2020. Motion by Alderman Seeger, second by Alderman Turner. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Florian,
Aye.
Alderman Seeger,
Aye.
Chairman Moiseo.
Aye, thank you. Item D, motion to approve the minutes of the special community development committee meeting of December the 21st, 2020. Motion by Alderman Seeger, second by Alderman Turner. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Florian,
Aye.
Alderman Seeger,
Aye.
Chairman Moiseo.
Aye, thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have anything from audience time?
No, Alderman, there are no public comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Item C, 3, old business. A and B are the same, correct, Noel?
They're related to the same project, but they're two
Okay.
separate items. So they
Um,
do need two separate votes when we
Yeah.
get to voting.
But we are going to, all right, item A, motion to approve zoning calendar 2621, a text amendment to section 8.4-4 of the Waukegan zoning ordinance to allow senior restricted residents conditional use in the B3 general commercial district. I have talked to all the aldermen except for Alderman Bolton, even the ones not on this committee. We have decided to move this to city council, pass it out of committee with no recommendation, and we will then table it at the city council level. There's still a lot of questions and a lot of I's and T's that most aldermen would like to be dotted. So instead of leaving it in committee, we're just going to get it to the council. And then once we have the I's dotted and the T's crossed, we'll be able to go from the council instead of going to committee. And then, so it just presents a little, it's a little bit less of a lag time. So I'm
Chairman
pretty sure.
Moiseo,
Yeah.
we do have a couple members of the project team with us this evening, Nick Standiford and Anthony Abruzzo. I can see are on.
Okay.
I'm not sure if the other folks are in the waiting room or just not visible on my screen. If there's Yarina
Okay.
and I don't know if Boris is with us or not, but they are the petitioners' representatives. If you have questions or would like them to give a brief overview,
Okay.
they certainly can do that.
Okay, let's do this then. Why don't we let those gentlemen speak? And then we can go from there. Like I said, I've talked to all the aldermen except Alderman Bolton, and we all wanted, there was a lot of questions and a lot of things that we needed buttoned up before we could vote on this. So either Nick or Anthony, whichever one wants to go first, can go ahead. And if any aldermen have questions about this, you can go ahead and ask them questions. So whoever wants to go first of that group is fine with me.
All right, I'll go first. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Nick Standiford. I'm a zoning attorney for Nieder Capital Services, the applicant for this project. We had a unanimous recommendation for approval on both the text amendment and the conditional use permit a couple months ago. So we were hoping to go to be in committee tonight and to be heard at the city council. I know that my client has a loan that he wants to have issued as soon as possible, and this and the entitlements here are important for that, obtaining that loan. So to the extent that we could be heard by city council, we would appreciate that. But I suppose, I'm not sure if everyone's seen our presentation before. If you think it makes sense for me to run through that presentation really quickly and kind of show some of what we're looking to do. And then we'd invite any questions for you at that time or at a later time, whatever your preference.
We could do it now, and that way time we're not doing it during city council time, doesn't make a difference to me. But are all the aldermen, there's me, Seeger, I don't know if Alderman Bolton and Alderman Kirkwood, Alderman Newsom was, I don't know if she's still around. And I don't know if the other aldermen are available right now for the presentation. Looking for some guidance here. Alderman, do you want to hear it now, or I guess Alderman, I think they're all here. So maybe it would be best to do it now instead of during, oh, okay. Okay.
I think we should do it now, Chairperson. So we can raise the questions, and when it comes to the council floor, we can then have a vote. That gives us that opportunity instead of taking up the time later.
Okay, then that's fine with me. I'm fine with that if everybody else, as long as everybody's here. And we'll do the presentation now and ask questions now and go from there. All right?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll try to go through this as diligently as possible. So this is our little presentation that we played before the Plan Commission. So if you see my notes, sorry about that. But here it is. This is our conditional use permit and text amendment request. As you all know, this is at 200 North Green Bay Road. To the south is a car dealership. To the west and to the north are residential, and to the east is unoccupied vacant land and a little bit of commercial. So this is the existing exterior of the property. So the important thing to point out about our proposed project is that we're not changing the footprint. We're just updating this building. We're updating the facade. We're going to provide a lot of landscaping around here. We're going to take down the big Ramada sign, and this is going to be a much nicer thing to look at along Green Bay Road, which is important.
Are you sharing your screen?
Is it not sharing?
No, I don't see it.
I do.
I see it.
I see it.
I see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
I do
Carry
too.
on. It's just me. Carry on. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Alderman. We're happy to send it to you afterwards as well.
I've got it.
So here is it's B3 zoning. So what we're here for tonight was we're doing both a text amendment and we're doing a conditional use permit. So the text amendment is to allow the use we're seeking, and that is senior restricted residences. And basically they're just going to pop in this use into the code. And that's the text amendment we're asking to be approved. And it's located in your packets, but I've put it up here on the screen. Basically, you have to be a certain age, 62 or older or 55 or older, to occupy, to rent out one of these spaces. And so what that does is it gives seniors a chance to have housing they can afford. And we're taking this Ramada Hotel, and we think that with all the improvements we're going to be making, that all these factors are going to be satisfied. These are the conditional use factors that you're to look at to determine whether or not to approve the project. And if you start off at the top, it's not going to be detrimental to the public health because we're taking a dilapidated current use and we're basically putting a facelift on it, and we're providing residences for people. We think this is going to take what's there now and help property values in the neighborhood. We don't think it's going to impede the normal development of the area. We're taking a hotel and making it into a senior residences, and we don't need any new access, new ingress or egress, because it's all there for us. This was a hotel that was operating, and then the comprehensive plan makes this a commercial area, this Green Bay corridor, and this is consistent. Multifamily housing is consistent with that use. So for all those reasons, I have to say that because I'm a lawyer. So these are the standards you look at when determining what you're gonna do with this project. So basically, here's what we did. We took the overall site plan and we modified it. We're basically adding a dumpster enclosure. We're adding some. I think we're updating the parking lot. We're adding some landscaping around the facility, but we're taking what's there. We're taking what's there. And this is a closer up image. So if you can kind of get an idea of what we're looking at here is at the bottom, you see where all the gridded portions, those are all existing hotel rooms. And in the middle is, or excuse me, at the front is going to be a big reception area with a storage room for packages and a front desk lobby area. And so we're gonna use all that. At this point, there's a pool there. I don't think that's going to be used. There's some stuff at the top. There was an existing bar. I'm sure you've read about, stretches. That's not going to be, we're not asking for that to be used at this point as part of this development. There's a big ballroom. You know, we're just focused on using the existing hotel and modifying it into 1-bedroom apartments and studios. And so that's kind of what you'll hear a little bit from the developer here in a second. So this is the southern portion. This is kind of down below that I showed you. These are the residences we're talking about. Some of the landscaping that's provided, it's above my pay grade to describe what this stuff is, but I guess I could have Anthony talk about it, our architect. This is that northern portion that which is Stretch's old bar there. And then there's some elevations of what the landscaping is going to look like. So we basically just took that big site plan, and these are closer up versions. And then this is the parking lot in the back. So there's more than adequate parking at this facility. So then you go here to the overall floor plan. This is the meat of the issue here. So these are the apartments we're going to hope to be making. The existing lobby is on the bottom of your screen, and that's where you gain entry into the facility and can go down any one of these hallway corridors into your room. So these are the room floor plans really quickly. I think this is probably a good time for me to step aside, and if Anthony, our architect, is on, he can kind of talk about what they're going to do with the existing hotel rooms. How are they going to change that into these apartments? So Anthony, if you could move diligently so we don't abuse our time and give them an idea of what we're looking for.
Absolutely. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the board. To give you essentially a brief description of why this project in our eyes is going to be so beautiful, and what the beauty lies in is a big part of adaptive reuse. Today in an urban environment, we really try to look for projects that how to reuse a project. This was, as you all know, a former hotel has not been operating for a couple years now. The beauty of this project in this senior sense of living is also not only housing, but it's also about community spaces. And a very, very big aspect of this is, you could see in the past plan, the site plan, we have essentially almost like closer to 12,000, 14,000 square foot of actual community space, whereas the residents will have the ability to do certain things and essentially not to feel that they are not confined to a small space. So as the senior footprint of living has definitely come down in recent years as a means of community space or a sense of living. And this is also, I would like to preach that it is also a lifestyle. So essentially with the large lobby area that we have workout areas. We will have dedicated like laundry facilities. Essentially north of that, where that bar and the existing banquet hall space lies, that's a different conversation as a means of that. We have at this point, no use for it, but we would love to try to look through the community to see that how we can encompass this space and to give back more to the community. So going back to a little bit of the rooms, the hotel itself was an existing 200-room hotel. We will be hoping to convert this into 150 rentable units. Those units will vary from, I believe it's 70 one-bedroom units and then 80 studio units. So with that said, on the pretense of these plans that we've submitted to you, another big aspect of this is the actual site itself. If I'm sure many of you do drive past the site and then you could see its existing condition. What we would love to do and what we will do is kind of remake the entire landscape and abide by the Green Bay Road that as a corridor is that gateway to the city of Waukegan. So not only are we lining up the Green Bay Road with all types of landscape, but through the site itself, we will be adding landscape islands to meet that of your code, of your latest and greatest landscape ordinance. Furthermore, to kind of, Nick, can you go back to the main floor?
I was going to go to the rooms. Okay, we can go
Oh,
to
perfect.
yeah.
So essentially, we have this makeup of this mix of these like 1-bedroom and these studio units. Also, with that said, we will have I think the count is for a total of 25 or 27 ADA units. And then we will have the possibility of doing 25 additional ADA units if it's required, or as more or less as the tenants, how the tenants lay out, and we could provide that for them.
So, Anthony, do you want to just describe quickly how you're going to take an existing room and make it into this studio or a 1-bedroom?
So the makeup or the adaptive reuse, the beauty of this is essentially every room has back-to-back bathrooms. What we choose to do is taking 2 rooms, combining them into one, eliminating one of the bathrooms. So that would be a total of eliminating 55 bathrooms in this complex. And then using the existing, so to speak, the plumbing, some of the sanitary and water lines to make up that for a new kitchen space. So you could see on the lower right-hand side, that proposed 1-bedroom unit, where that kitchen was the former bathroom. So we'll be eliminating that, creating a great living space, really nice sized kitchen and additional storage. Then as you move north or move up into the unit, there's a dividing door. And in that door, that would be the bedroom unit. So that's where they would have the bathroom and then a very nice sized living space. If you look to the left of the screen, those are our ADA makeups. And then those ADAs, what we would have to do to comply to the latest ADA code is enlarging those bathrooms, giving the ability for persons with handicaps, the ability to live on their own. And with that said, it's essentially the same makeup. The 1 bathroom would be removed, turned to a kitchen. Then you have your nice living space, and then the bedroom itself. And then if you look up on the page, these are just kind of what concept ideas of some of the makeup of what the units like the kitchen or kitchenette would be. And then some of these smaller community spaces that we have throughout the complex. Like I said, that front section, just the lobby area, that's 8,000 square foot of within itself. We would also be providing a locked access so that in today's digital e-commerce, there would be a lot of boxes and a lot of shipping, mail, things of that nature. So we would be providing a secure lockup for a delivery person to, deliver a package and not to have the package scattered all about, and have, just a little bit more safety for that of the residents.
All right. So I think there was a question at the Plan Commission. Thanks, Anthony. I think that was helpful. I think there was a question at the Plan Commission about there's some elevators going in and some, and what are you going to do? What's your budget on this, and how are you going to make that budget work for this project?
So essentially, we've broken down everything. I know Boris himself has spent 3.5 years looking at this project and all the greatness that it has. I myself have been involved in the last 9 months, I would say, close to. And with that, we spent roughly about 25 days in the facility itself. And I was very surprised, because at first what I thought we were walking into was going to be quite the show, which it is not. The condition of the existing facility and the existing buildings are definitely above of what I originally thought walking into this. So not only, excuse me. I apologize. Nick?
Yeah, is Boris having a hard time getting on?
So also with that, the budget that we set aside of this is, I believe, at just north of $4.5 million. And at that $4.5 million, I know that came up into question on the previous meeting that we had. How we devised this was, one, we did a complete site survey, measured out the existing facility, did a survey of every washroom, every bedroom, and even to the quality of the furniture. Furthering from that, with prices that we've done, other development projects that we've done, such as kitchens, tile, carpet, new paint, new acoustic ceiling tiles, and then a revision to that of the fire alarm system. Not only that, but adding exhaust. So each kitchen has its own individually vented exhaust that would eliminate a lot of, I'd say, sort of the smells in larger residential projects. And furthermore, each unit has its own, or every of 200 rooms have their own space tech heaters / cooling systems. So there is so much infrastructure here at this project that is in great working condition. So essentially what we propose to do is to bring it up, update it. And then along with eliminating those washrooms and then combining the rooms and adding these new kitchen. And in addition to that, the community spaces, communal laundry areas, and then the communal mail room. We feel that within the $4.5 million, just north of that budget, would be achievable. That roughly breaks down to $65.38 a square foot if it was divisible. Another thing that I know some people did get caught up on was the total building square foot of the total facility is 127,000 square feet. And out of that 127,000 square feet, the 30,000 square foot of it is the restaurant and banquet facility that would not be tackled, so to speak, in this phase, but we would be tackling all the landscape and everything around the site to make it a really beautiful place. So if there are any other questions that I could have, or you guys have regarding the budgets. Yes, sir.
So my name is Alderman Kirkwood of the 4th Ward. I have questions in terms of the $4.5 million, and you said you're not going to renovate the space where the restaurant and the large conference room. So these individuals that rent here will be cooking in their own rooms and
Yes,
not will be using any of the facilities that where the banquet hall is and the other facilities are on the back end or the north end of that particular facility. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Can
And then
I'm sorry, can I answer that? At this time, Boris Strajewski, I'm sorry, representing Nether Capital, the developer. So at this time, we do not have any plans for a community kitchen in place. And every apartment, since it's not a room, it's an apartment, must have a kitchen. So we are providing kitchens for every unit, whether we have a meal program or do not going forward.
okay, and then earlier it was mentioned regarding the pool area that right now you're not sure if that will still exist. My other concern is that what type of things will be there for the seniors so that it's all encompassing in that particular area. As you know, Green Bay Road is one of our main thoroughfares. And so is there workout rooms that will be refurbished, areas where they have community areas once we get through this COVID particular area that they can meet, activities that the seniors can have, especially with the space there is not going to be utilized. It's important for me that everything is incumbents inside so that they don't have to go out. And there's things that are brought in. I don't know if you're going to have a recreational coordinator in that facility that will have activities for the seniors, as well as transportation when they get ready to want to go somewhere. There's different activities that could occur for those seniors in that particular facility.
Yes, sir. So if I may, most definitely. We are providing quite a few community spaces. Actually, not only the central community space at the entry level, at the facade entry level, with the additional security for package drop off, and also a meet and greet desk, which will have an on-site person at all times, not 24 hours, but up to, let's say, midnight or so. We are also providing all digital cameras throughout the site, with ability for the tenants to access through either their smartphones or through their computers or through any other, like a tablet type of a product, that they will be able to see who's coming to visit them. If they're at the lobby, they could see the surrounding areas and be able to, feel secure at site. Now, To answer your question, we most definitely are providing secure community space in every building as well. We're providing areas that residents will be able to just, sit around, talk, have a little conversation. There are going to be most definitely areas on the outside, during reasonable season, when people can sit outside and spend some time, maybe play a little bocce or something, whatever that we will be able to put together as far as their recreation schedule. We are not an assisted living facility. We're an independent living facility. Therefore, I think a lot of the recreation is going to come within the residents themselves. People creating groups for exercises in the provided exercise room. We will provide a brand new facility. The current equipment is obviously outdated. The room is still there. So we will most definitely upgrade the room, bring the equipment, newer equipment into the facility that is senior oriented. Things that are not weights, and bars and stuff like that, but things that seniors would utilize in their everyday, regimen that could be put together. There are a lot of programs available today that are geared towards seniors, towards recreation of seniors, and I think we are utilizing a system called Lively.io, and they have a number of recreational things, and also additions, things like deliveries that are made into certain facilities with notifications to tenants, whether they are made through a telephone or whether they're made by a phone call from a front desk. We're going to provide security from the property. Obviously, this is a sprawling property. We most definitely will have a security on site after hours to be able to patrol all the parking lot and such areas on the facility. And as I mentioned, we will have security cameras at all entrances, at all entrance levels, so that it's the whole facility is actually going to be next generation product. We're gonna, provide these digital entrance keys for all the seniors so that they don't lose their keys. They'll have ability to come in not only through the front lobby, but also through the back entrances if they feel so, necessary. If they park in the back and they want to come through the back and not have to go all the way around, we will provide that. As well, I believe was mentioned that the facility is all inclusive. You're able to walk into any part of it and end up in any other part of that. So it's always enclosed. We're not going to force our people to go outside to either pick up their mail or get, or go into their recreational, facilities. They'll be able to go through the inside of the property. That's one of the things that is on site is the number of corridors that is there. It's over and above the standard percentage, for an apartment building.
So Mr. Alderman, yeah, if it's going to be organic, people getting together organically in the community spaces once COVID goes away, and using the recreation room, which we're going to be retrofitting. And then, I think we also talked about maybe the park district or somebody, if they wanted to do a senior program inside, we'd also look at those opportunities as well. The text amendment allows for communal gatherings of the residents within the facility, such as eating, recreational, personal care, or other use of those facilities. So we're going to be creative to make it as good of a living environment as possible. And that's the developer's goal, is to make this a place that people feel like they're in a community, not just in an apartment. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it
does. That is why we're providing so much space, so much open space, so that people have ability to actually, have a relationship interaction.
Alderman Taylor, Ann Taylor.
So this is in my ward, and obviously I would love to get this building back on the tax rolls and have the appearance of this building look fantastic. But I still have a lot of unanswered questions. First off, you said it was 62 or older, and then you said it was 55 or older. So is it 55 or older, I assume?
So the federal guidelines require for a senior type of well, actually the language comes from the city, from your staff. That's actually part of the ordinance that is, that is enacted in the city of Waukegan. So to be called a senior facility, we have to be at 62 and over, but at least a certain percentage of people have to be 55 plus.
80%, Alderman.
Right.
80% have to be 55.
Okay, so that's just the verbiage. Okay. My concerns, and we've talked about this a little bit in the past, is you currently have the banquet facility there. And they're not going to be there. Is there a process that they've already decided to leave? Have you come to terms? Like what's happening with that?
Yes, you want me to answer it, Boris?
Yes,
So,
please, of course.
There's litigation ongoing to, and I believe there's a settlement conference that's coming up, and we'll see if that's fruitful or not. But the parties are going to try to work together, either together or against each other, to have the tenant who's existing there holding over vacate the premises, either by settlement or by lawsuit. But there's work being done on that front.
Because that would be a concern for me, that I don't know that that particular facility goes with the senior facility.
Alderman, we will not start the work on the property, and I believe this has been a discussion, an ongoing discussion with staff. Our group as a developer has zero interest in restaurant or bar operations on site. We are a residential developer, and as far as we are concerned, this is a non-use for us. So. Yeah.
And then at one time there was an issue with ownership. That's all been worked out now?
The issue was whether the owner would be on this application. And so what we did was we did a waiver, like a legal document called a waiver, where they waived all rights under the application that we're filing. So they can't come in and say, hey, we have this special use to operate a senior restricted residential facility, because they've already waived those rights. Their authorized agent signed the document, and we provided that to staff. So that's the solution we came up with there, to prevent them from coming in asserting any rights to this approval.
Okay.
Thank you. That is one of the conditions on the CUP.
Correct.
This is
Yes,
Alderman Bolton. Yes, I'm excited about the project that's coming up. My question is, will this facility be able to serve any low-income senior citizens?
Alderman, let me answer that. So I had a discussion with previously with staff and actually with the city about the type of a tenant or resident that would be occupying apartments, brand new apartments that we're going to provide. Most seniors are in some degree or form are receiving assistance from whether it is SSI or whether it is excuse me, Section 8. So given that fact, even though we are market rate rental property, most of our tenants are going to receive some kind of assistance. It's just a given, So, we're not seeking any funding from state, federal, or city for that matter. And so therefore our project is not a federally supported project and not a low income project. We're a market rate, developer, but market rates in the Waukegan are accessible to most seniors. And as I said, most of them are going to be on some type of assistance.
Thank you. My last question is, most of these, there's been a lot of history of incidents happening in facilities like this. I'm sure you're ADA compliant, right?
Yes, ma'am. Most definitely. We are a minimum ADA and have ability to increase our ADA number of units if necessary.
I'm sorry, say that once again.
We are compliant to the number required by state in our plans and are willing to increase the number if need be going forward.
Can I ask, what is the number required?
I will let Anthony answer that question. He's better than I am. It's based on the number of units, Okay. Anthony?
Come off mute, Anthony.
Sorry about that. We've provided 20% in our initial run. And as I said, with that, we are going to make above that 20%, we are going to have an additional 25 units that will be readily accessible for ADA. So now essentially, well, you might say, well, what does that necessarily mean? When we're doing the reconstruction to provide for the proper plumbing as means of the fixtures, the showers, the toilets, and having the spacing set aside, that we know that if the tenant does come in and we see that the demand, so to speak, is much more ADA, that we will easily be able to convert these units to the needs of our tenants.
Thank you.
Alderman Moiseo here. Gentlemen, have you guys done anything like this before?
I'll let
Yes, sir.
Boris answer that question. Yep. go
Thank
ahead.
you very much. So we have come to the adaptive reuse model, so it's called nowadays. That's catchy praise, I guess. We've come to that model, actually working different type of projects, starting with the smaller size places that in Rogers Park and going to Evanston, converting medical offices into ADA compliant housing, then going further and creating bigger size projects in Melrose Park, where we converted warehousing into residential dwellings as well. This type of a project that we're currently looking at is just a much easier conversion for us because it has so much infrastructure already built into it that we can utilize going forward in our conversion. Most definitely other projects that we've done are much more difficult because we had bare walls to contend with and all the things that you need to put into a product in order to make it livable, as plumbing, electrical, and all that that are just a horrible nightmare to do in a facility that's not set for it. This particular facility is just golden for us because as many different developers have done over the last several years, converting hotels to apartments, the beauty of these is that you have the infrastructure there.
All right, Alderman Newsom.
Yes, I have a question. I understand with phase one, per se, you're not doing anything with the banquet facility, the restaurant, or the bar area. Would you be leasing that out, or would you just leave that part closed? No access to it, or what are your plans to do? Or are you planning to do something with that at a later date?
Yes, ma'am. So we have spoken with staff, and the CUP, conditional use permit, that is in front of you now, basically allows only for accessory use for our current tenants. We find that if we're able to designate any part of that area for the current, for the use by our current residents, we would most definitely do so. Unfortunately, this is a 30,000 square foot building that we are not given an opportunity to utilize in any other way. And so most definitely this is going to remain vacant until such time as maybe we find a tenant that is acceptable for the city or a use that's acceptable for the city. As of right now, the bar, the restaurant, and the banquet facility would have to stay closed.
That's right. And then once we found a good user that was the city liked and we liked, we would seek to probably come back and see if we could change that text amendment to allow for those uses. And we do that through an application. It would be back before the Plan Commission and before this committee and the board, excuse me. Alderman Kirkwood.
Can you tell me approximately for the 1 bedroom and the studio, what would the normal rent be for those 2 different facilities?
I'll let Trustee Abruzzo, he's a trustee in Melrose Park in his night job, so I'll let him answer this.
Boris, Boris, go ahead for your.
Okay.
No, most definitely, guys. So we've done a pretty good research, of the market to know what the rental rates are, and we know that the studios in Waukegan go anywhere from $600 to $700 per unit, and the 1 bedrooms go anywhere between $700 and $800 per unit. And it's subject to whatever facilities we're able to provide, in addition to just the apartment itself, we will seek to be within the market rate.
And do they pay their own utilities in those individual?
No, sir. Actually, this is an all-inclusive price. The price that we'll provide will be including all the utilities.
Alderman Florian, I know you had your hand up. Yes.
Thank you. So I just want to get a little better idea on the layout. I know you showed the pictures, but it's sometimes hard to see on the screen. So there's 2 floors to the hotel. So that layout you showed was actually double that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I think it was around 300 square feet was the studio size, 316. Is that what it said?
17.
So is that equivalent to an existing hotel room? Are those just going to be 1-to-1?
Yes, ma'am.
And then
range from.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Those range from 319 to 347
Okay.
square foot.
And
as
that's just a
standardized-
hotel room that already exists and you're turning it into a studio.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then the 1 bedrooms are 2 hotel rooms being put together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there's 200 rooms in the hotel now,
Yes,
and you're gonna go down to 150.
yes.
Okay, all right, I just wanted clarity on that. Thank you.
In addition to that, Alderman, we have lots of space that was meeting space that is going to get converted to a number of apartments. There, that's why there's actually every floor has a meeting room. It's quite large, and so we're going to be able to convert those to brand new apartments as well.
Alderman Taylor, I'm sorry, you had a question?
Do you have an example of the finishes that you'll use in this? I mean, I know we've seen some pictures, but I don't know that you're gonna actually use those, or those are conceptual.
We've actually been advised to go back, I believe, to the planning committee. And from that point, we will be submitting to them paint swatches, granite samples, cabinet samples, and things of that nature. So staff that can approve that.
Okay, thank you.
We've committed to using, stone on the countertops, so to make it, upgradable. And I think the product that we're going to provide is going to be better than I think most people are used to for a senior type of a straight product. We have that ability because of the positioning of the facilities and our knowledge of how to actually break things down and put them back together.
Alderman Kirkwood, I know you had
Will,
your hand.
will you be using union labor in this renovation project?
Yes, we are, sir. There will be a designated number of unions that we'll be contacting. As most of the work is going to be interior remodeling work, there's really no union that we can use for that. But there is going to be electric work. There is going to be flat work. There's definitely going to be work that will require assistance of our union brother. Yes.
All right, does any more aldermen have any more questions? All right, well then with that said, let's see here. I gotta get back to my gallery view. Okay, with that said, we can take a vote on this. And then we'll see what happens on the council floor, so. All right, so motion to approve zoning calendar 2621 at text amendment to section 8.4-4 of the Waukegan zoning ordinance to allow senior restricted residences at a conditional use in the B3 general commercial district. Motion by Alderman Seeger, second by Alderman Kirkwood. We've had our questions. Let's have a roll call, please.
I have a question.
Alderman
I thought we were voting, or there was a vote to just move this, not to approve it.
Well, you can state that in your vote. You could say, I'm voting aye just to move it to council. And then on council, we can, if an alderman wants to hold it over a table, they can. My opinion would be to get it out of committee. Either you can say no you can say aye or pass or no. Or I'm gonna say aye to move it to the city council. I think this is my opinion. I don't know about other aldermen. They can chime in now or they can wait to the city council. Again, I echo Alderman Taylor's comments. I would love to see this thing back viable again because it's been a pain in our ass for far too long. I myself would like to make sure that you get the legal thing straightened out with stretches. I'd also like to just see the other projects that they've done and then revisit this for the vote in 2 weeks. By tabling it, that means we can bring it back up in 2 weeks if all the aldermen have had all their questions answered. I don't know that all the aldermen have had all their questions and all their concerns addressed tonight. These guys, I thought, did a very good job in answering them. There might be still some come up. So that's going to be my recommendation as a chairman. We just get it out of committee and get it to city council, and then we can do what we want to on city council as far as tabling it or holding it over or voting it up or down. But that's going to be my recommendation. I don't like things to sit in committee when there's no need for it to sit in committee, and that just makes more time. These gentlemen have said that there is a loan that they are waiting on. I don't think 2 more weeks would damage that, but again, I'm not privy to everything, but I don't want to have this sit in committee. It's going to go to the city council anyway, whether we voted yes or no. So it doesn't matter. This is, again, just a filter and just a recommendation. So we can.
Mr. Chairman, I apologize. Can I ask one question too?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Alderman.
Hey, thank you, sir. What's the time frame for this project? When are you trying to get it kicked off, and when are you trying to wrap it up and start renting units?
Thank you. That
Alderman,
was my question also.
Thank you. So it's actually, we've been tabled a few times. We started with this in September, and this has been, taken over September, October, November, and here we are in January to see you. So yeah, we have already been, taking several of these extensions. I believe 3 of them. We're probably on the 3rd extension. If there are questions, it would be my pleasure, or I'm sure our team's pleasure, to answer any of the questions that may be posed. I think we know as much as we can possibly know about the project before we actually get rolling.
Yeah.
So I hope that we can answer any questions that may be posed to us.
So then, let me put it this way: once you have approval from the city, how long do you expect for all the refurbishments for the project to be completed so that you can start renting?
So thank you very much for the question. So we believe the first phase, which is the lobby, the parking area, the landscaping, and the first building can be done within 6 months. And then the rest of it is only a building at a time. And we believe we could do them 90 to 120 days per. Therefore, the total project should not take any longer than 18 months from the day of start.
Great.
The one positive thing about this project is we don't have to build walls, foundations, roofs, all of that is already there.
Yeah, I believe it was also mentioned earlier in the presentation, excuse me, that financing was predicated on approval and that there are some stipulations or some constraints around financing. Can you speak to that?
Of course. So as I'm sure everyone knows, we're in a dire time right now. Senior, developments of such itself, just any senior development has been really low on the occupancy factor and a very dangerous place, for most seniors to be. We're hoping that our experience, our previous, experience and our current standing with our lenders allows us to forego that because of, the concerns that they may have. Simply, we believe that by the time we're done with the project, most folks in the United States will be already, hopefully, vaccinated. And, the project, if to begin, in our opinion, to get through the city process, to be able to obtain all the permits, we would probably not begin until May of this year, sir. I think it takes that long to get through staff because there are engineering questions that they have to go through and compliances and compliances of existing alteration of existing, for example, safety that have to go through fire and, creating all these particular plans for fire, for example, separately than for electric, and all these things take per department take a period of time for approval. But we believe if we were given an opportunity to move forward today.
Great. Thank you very much. I'm ready for the vote, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
All right, let's roll call, please, then.
Mr. Chairman, for clarity's sake, is the motion then to approve or to just advance to city council? I want to make sure our minutes read correctly.
How's the rest of the committee feel about that? Do they want to vote to move it along, or you want to vote up or down?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Motion, Alderman Seeger.
To approve it.
Alderman Florian.
I still have some questions, but I would vote to move it into council.
Okay, Alderman Rivera.
My vote is just to move it to council as we had discussed previously.
Okay. All right, let's, Alderman Turner and Alderman Seeger, that doesn't make much of a difference. You can vote, the vote on the council is the determining vote anyway. So let's not get caught up in logistics here. So, all right, this is just to move it to council.
Okay. So an aye is a vote to advance.
Move it to council. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Chairman Moiseo.
Aye, to move it to committee. So that's that. And then item B would be the same thing. We don't have to go through anymore, but just read it. Hold on. I want my computer to die here. B, motion to approve zoning calendar 2622, a conditional use permit for a senior restricted residence development at 200 North Green Bay Road with 20 conditions as outlined by staff for the petitioner, Nadar Capital Services LLC, whose co-applicant is Waukegan Hospitality Group LLC. Motion by Alderman Turner, second by Alderman Seager. Roll call.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Aye.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Florian,
Aye.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Chairman Moiseo.
Aye, thank you very much. All right, moving on to the next one. 4 is new business. A, motion to approve zoning calendar 2624, adoption of the Northern Lakeshore Trail Connectivity Plan. Motion by Alderman Kirkwood, second by Alderman Florian. Any questions on this? Alderman Florian.
I love this idea. I think it's great. I think it really fits well with our comprehensive plan. And my only concern is that we will be responsible, I believe, from what I read, for maintaining our section of this trail. Is that correct, Noel?
Well, there are multiple trails actually, and whoever becomes the owner of any individual section would be responsible for maintaining it. So for example, some of the connections proposed in the plan are part of Forest Preserve District trails. Some of them may be Waukegan Park District. Some would be on-street bike lanes, that type of thing that would be on roads that we maintain or roads that the county maintains. And those would become the responsibility of whichever entity is responsible for maintaining that roadway. So the maintenance aspect goes with the ownership aspect.
Okay, and I guess I didn't think about it from that perspective. So do you know, like, roughly what they're proposing for Waukegan, what percentage of those will be responsible for?
I couldn't tell you that off the top of my head, but I could look deeper and try to come up with that percentage for you.
Well, I'm just concerned. I'm sorry.
They would be individual projects, so they would be approved as part of our CIP program. And it would be, you know, if we're redoing a roadway, are we going to paint a bike lane on it? That type of thing. Or if we know the Forest Preserve is working on a project, can we encourage them to make a trail connection someplace else? And it is within their priorities to do that. So they're already seeking to do those kinds of things. So I think the different entities that manage those kinds of facilities are prepared to take on the maintenance of them. And for us, it's basically, it would be roadways primarily, potentially some sidewalk widening kinds of projects, but those are facilities that we already maintain at this point.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome. I agree with you, by the way, that this is an excellent supplement to our comprehensive plan. It really complements it well. The comprehensive plan refers to this plan specifically, and we'll have another one coming up for you, a water trails connection plan in an upcoming meeting. So these are excellent supplements that help enforce and reinforce the comprehensive plan and advance its goals. Chairman Moiseo.
Roll call, please, right? I'm sorry. We have a
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a motion by Alderman Kirkwood and a second by Alderman Florian. Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Chairman Moiseo.
Aye, thank you. Items
Thank
B
you.
and C, thank you. Items B and C have been requested to be the next committee by the petitioner, and so we'll go to item D. Motion to approve zoning calendar 2627. Conditional use permit for dwelling units above the ground floor of 114 South Genesee Street. Motion by Alderman Kirkwood, second by Alderman Seager. Any questions on this? Alderman Taylor.
The petitioner is with us tonight, Mr. Mickey Shook.
Okay.
This is a minor question, but I noticed in the paperwork that there were no windows in the bedrooms. Does that not cause a fire concern? I mean, this is probably better for Chief Bridges, but with there being a restaurant below, would there not be a fire concern with windows in the bedroom?
Chief, are you with us? Can you address that?
Bridges.
Perhaps he's not available.
What was that?
Alderman Taylor asked with regard to the bedrooms in one or two of the units in this project at 114 South Genesee for the residential units. They don't have exterior windows in those bedrooms. As I understand it, and Mr. Shook, if you're with us and want to chime in on this, I understand they'll have transom windows above the doors in those bedrooms. Is that a fire code problem? Chief?
Yes, there will be transom windows. Good evening, everyone. There will be transom windows and there will be also skylight windows. But the structure does not allow put two bedroom facing the Genesee Street. There will be two windows per each unit, one for one bedroom window and one window for the living room. The second bedroom, because the planning is elongated, will not allow to have a window facing Genesee Street. But again, it will have a transom window and it will have a skylight to give natural light to the bedroom.
I mean, I know you've probably gone through this all with the fire department and you know the rules. So, I mean, we're okay on that, right? I mean, like it's all been okayed. Is that, I mean.
It was okay by fire department, yes.
Okay, good.
By Steve Lindsay, yeah.
Okay.
And it will go through review for permitting as well.
Okay.
Formal review.
Yes, that is correct. You're absolutely right, Noel. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate it.
So these are one bedroom and two bedrooms apartments there?
It will be two bedroom, one bedroom and one studio.
Okay, and Chief Bridges, so there are not going to be windows on the Genesee side. Is that correct?
There are windows on the Genesee side, sir. Existing.
Correct. Yes. We were just talking about the windows in the bedroom. There are going to be windows on the Genesee side.
Okay.
Yeah. This is Alderman Bolton. I have a question. Will this also be ADA compliant?
Yes.
For the residents?
It will be ADA. Yes, it will be ADA compliant. The
Is it just
architectural plans were
20%
submitted.
or, I'm sorry, go ahead and answer.
All 4 apartments will be ADA compliant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then, no more questions. Let's go roll call, please.
Did we have a motion, sir?
A motion by Alderman Kirkwood, second by Alderman Seager.
Alderman Kirkwood?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Alderman Seager?
Aye.
Chairman Moiseo?
Aye. Thank you.
Muted.
Mr. Chairman, you're muted, sir. Thank you, Mickey.
Sorry.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Sorry.
you. Have a good night.
Motion by Alderman Florian, second by Alderman Seager to adjourn. Roll call, please.
And that's at 7:00 p.m. Alderman Kirkwood?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Alderman Seager?
Aye.
Chairman Moiseo?
We are adjourned. I have to ask, is the mayor, what time would you like to start the council meeting? 5 minutes?
In 10 minutes, everybody. Give it 7:10. We'll start council meeting at 7:10.
Got it.
That's for you, Felix. The time has come for the Monday, January 4th, 2021, virtual regular Waukegan City Council meeting. Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Present.
Alderman Turner.
Present.
Alderman Rivera.
Present.
Alderman Florian.
Present.
Alderman Taylor.
Present.
Alderman Bolton.
Present.
Alderman Seager.
Present.
Alderman Mozio.
Present.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Present.
Mayor Cunningham.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Item 1B, invocation will be led by Pastor John Capos of Jesus Name Apostolic Church, 150 South Genesee Street, Waukegan, Illinois. Immediately following the invocation, we will all rise for the pledge. Pastor Capos.
Yes. Dear Heavenly Father, we do thank you for the opportunity to govern. We know that the scriptures teach us that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. You said in your word that when the people are one, they can do anything that they imagine to do. We know that we live in turbulent times and we live in divided times. Your word also says that a house divided cannot stand. So we invoke your presence today to bring us together on the things that we can agree upon for the good of the people at this local level. We ask you right now that you would give us a heart to love one another and to govern with one another, to let everyone know that we will be successful in 2021. We will be strong in 2021, and we will be united in 2021. Bring us together and give us that power that comes as we are the United States of America. We thank you and ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Capos, and Happy New Year to you and your family, sir.
Happy New Year.
All rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 1C, Mayor's comments. Good evening, everybody. As always, Happy New Year to the aldermen, to staff, and to the great citizens of Waukegan. Unfortunately, we have to start off on a sad note. We, the city of Waukegan, on behalf of the mayor, Clerk Kilkelly, Treasurer Schwab, the aldermen, and the rest of the citizens would like to send our condolences to retired Waukegan Police Department Lieutenant, Mr. Wayne Hunter, succumbed recently. We just found out, so we want to send condolences to him and his family. For those who did not know, we just found out at the same time, the owners, one of the owners, the original owners of the Paragon restaurant, Mrs. Rionis, passed away, and their service was last week, and they're in Greece. So we'd like to send not only our condolences to the Paragon, affectionately known as the Paragon family, the owners of the restaurant Paragon, on a safe travel back to the United States of America. Next, Christmas trees, Christmas tree recycling. Yes, it's that time. This also let us know it is a new year. Christmas trees collections has started and will run through January 20th. However, we're asking you, no, we're telling you to please remove the ornaments, tinsels, and other decorations from the tree and put it out on your normal collection day. I'm going to repeat. The Christmas tree collection has started and will run through January 20th. Remove all the ornaments, tinsel, and other decorations from the tree and put it out on your normal garbage day. I've noticed there's somebody who already had them out already. So we need to please get that out. Alderman, can you make sure on your Facebook pages, Twitter accounts, neighborhoods, please push that out to our residents. Alternate parking. All of us, aldermen, including myself, have received some calls. The new times for alternate parking went into effect in November. But I'm going to mention this again, and I think we all need to continue over and over. On odd days, park your vehicle on the odd numbered side of the street. On even days, park on your vehicle on the even number side of the street from 12:01 a.m. to 11:59 a.m. Again, odd days, park on the odd side. Even days, park on the even side. And it's from 12:01 a.m. to 11:59 a.m. This ordinance was unanimously approved because this helps Public Works to clear snow from our streets, get our street sweepers through, provide space for emergency vehicle access, and allow us to identify and remove abandoned vehicles. Police are issuing tickets, but the goal is to move vehicles, not write tickets. Everybody, that is our goal, whether you believe it or not. You gotta move these cars. If nothing else, we've already seen it on snow days. And I'm here to tell you, Public Works, the drivers have already said they see a difference. So I'm asking the public, aldermen, everybody, if we do this together, we will not have these problems. Our goal is to move those vehicles, clear those streets, and do what? So we can get street sweepers in the summertime. You ask why we do this. Over the last couple of days, the first snow came down about 2.5, 3 inches. If we do not plow where we go directly to the curb, when it melts on those above 34, 35, the snow, you're going to clog up those drains. That means that water could potentially go back into your home. We're all trying to prevent that through our preventive maintenance. You've done a great job thus far. We're asking you to continue on with that method. Yes, officers will be out ticketing. That's part of the process. But our goal is to help you to help us move these vehicles. So thank you for what you've done thus far. And Alderman, I've been noticing all of you have really, really taken a strong message. You're doing the same thing, so appreciate you. Virtual polar bear plunge. I would have went this year, but we didn't have it. The city of Waukegan and Waukegan Park District hosted the 22nd annual Waukegan Polar Bear Plunge virtually this year. 11 creative plunges at home videos were submitted, making the event enjoyable. All proceeds go to the special recreation services at the Park District. We would like to thank all the sponsors and participants and hope next year will be we'll be together at the lakefront to ring in the new year. Again, Alderman, if all of you would join me first, then I will think about joining you after. Health Department vaccine website. Lake County Health Department's vaccine portable is open for registration. Simply what that means, you can register to get your dose in your arm. The registration website, www.allakecohealth.org, and it spells all vax Lake County Health Department organization. All right. Over 100,000 in Lake County residents have registered so far. Wow. And it's the best way to receive notification when the vaccine will be available. Everybody, we have done a great job with this. This is another portion of our COVID-19 response by our cities, our aldermen, and our residents. So let's get this thing going. Health Department Town Hall meeting. Lake County will also host a virtual town hall about the county's vaccination efforts and will answer related questions from the community. The town hall will be next Wednesday, January the 13th, starting at 7 p.m. Registration information is available on our website at waukeganil.gov. ML King Breakfast. The Waukegan Township Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dreamers Breakfast will be virtual this year due to the pandemic. This year's event on Monday, January 18th. And our Waukegan Township will honor frontline and essential workers and feature individuals and organizations that continue to provide services. Tickets are available at waukegantownship.com. Again, the next council meeting will be Tuesday, January the 19th, as Monday, the 18th, is the observance of Dr. ML King Jr. Day. There was actually the last one. The North Shore Ministers Alliance will also host the annual ML King celebration on January 17th, 2021, and it will be virtual. This is their annual Martin Luther King celebration hosted by the North Shore Ministers Alliance. And it's going to be coming from 1 Corinthians, where the pastor is Pastor Eugene Robertson. So you have two of them. One is on Sunday and the other one's on Monday for Dr. Martin Luther King. All right. Any information, it will be on our website, of course. Alderman, I want to read two shout outs to all of us, a part of city government. This one comes from Mr. White. It says, Mr. Mayor, thank you for being open today and for the great job all city employees are doing through and during COVID-19. This comes from Mr. White. Second, this comes from Mr. Schindler. I want to thank Eddie Albino and Ruben Rivera. They did a quality job of pruning across from my home at 320. I'm not going to read this address. It's in, I think, the 8th Ward. I will continue to monitor the very large and stressed out oak tree. Thank you, Mr. Schindler. Thank you, Mr. White. And another one came from Sharice. Sharice just says, my students and I were delighted to have you share in this event, this virtual learning experience, meaning myself. I know that you have been dedicated for supporting our frontline educator and becoming the mayor of Waukegan. Your participation in our fundraising events made it possible for me to take eighth graders from Daniel Webster Middle School on the Washington, D.C. tour for 2 consecutive years. I want you to know that you're already welcome to join us as I empower our students so they can carry on the legacy of restoring our town. I really thought these were great things that was sent in to celebrate now our employees and what they're doing. Certainly having saying yes to other various departments, and here is something that we're doing for our students in the city of Waukegan. That being said, that's all I have for mayor's comments. Item 2A, presentation by Darren Bounty from ComEd. Yes, Darren is our representative for ComEd for the city of Waukegan. Darren, are you on?
I'm here, Mayor.
All right. Happy New Year to you, sir. And I'm pretty sure you got some good information for us. Is it just let him go ahead, Madam Clerk? Just let him go ahead. All right, Darren, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Again, as Mayor stated, I'm Darren Bounty. I am ComEd's External Affairs Manager for the City of Waukegan. And thanks for the opportunity for having me here tonight, because I would like to review some of ComEd's energy bill assistance programs with you this evening. So ComEd is here to help. We care about the well-being and safety of our customers and are offering bill payment assistance options to help pay energy bills. We can help find a solution that works for customers so that they can continue to enjoy reliable, safe, and affordable electricity. I'll review some of the available programs, and I'll make these available to city staff so that they have the information that I'm going over tonight. ComEd Bill Payment Assistance Program. This is for income eligible customers who have a past due balance and are facing financial hardship. It may be eligible for a one-time bill credit of up to $500 while funds are available. The eligibility for the bill payment assistance program includes residential customers who are eligible to receive LIHEAP. They must have received a LIHEAP grant after October 1st, 2019, or residential customers who are income eligible but not LIHEAP approved. They must complete an application form, which includes verification that they're income qualified. This information is available at ComEd.com/bill assistance. Next, we have flexible and extended payment arrangements. For a limited time, residential customers may be eligible for flexible payment arrangement with a down payment on a past due amount and the accumulated balance spread out over up to 18 months. Payments can be spread out over up to 24 months for income eligible customers or those experiencing financial hardship with no money down. These customers can visit ComEd.com/DPA to learn more. A couple other programs that we have under our hardship grants is the Residential Hardship Program. This is a grant of up to $500 towards a past due balance while funds are available. It's available to income eligible customers who demonstrate a hardship. We also have a program called CHAMP. CHAMP provides a grant of up to $1,000 towards past due balance. And this is available for activated military personnel and veterans. These customers can visit ComEd.com/care to learn more. Next, I'll talk about our budget payments. We have a program called budget billing. This spreads the cost of your electric service evenly month to month by charging a prearranged amount with each bill. To enroll in this program, customers would just need to visit ComEd.com/billing options. And then I would like to stress, for customers that need help with their electric bill, please call ComEd. They can call us at 1-800-EDISON-1. That's 800-334-7661, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Or they can visit ComEd.com/support. Mayor and Council, thank you for your time this evening. And like I said before, I'll make sure I share this information with city staff so it's available. Is there any questions for me?
Yes, I have one. Darren, can you talk about the ComEd Small Business Customer Assistance Program? I know it was sent to me. I think I just texted to you. It was maybe a little bit detailed in that as well.
Yeah, so we have and I apologize, Mayor, I don't have that one in front of me. We do have a program that's available for our small business customers. I will get an updated sheet and make sure that I send that along with city staff, but these are for businesses that are experiencing financial hardship. They can also contact us through the same venue to apply for assistance for their past due balances.
Yeah, and it was sent to me, and what I'm going to do, Alderman, I will send that link on to you so you'll have. I think David or Isabel sent it out to you, but and it reads assistance program which provide one-time grant up to $2,000 to cover past due balances. And the link, it says a link to that information. I've seen that link. So that's what it is. It comes from ComEd Small Business Customer Assistance Program. But thank you, Darren. Any questions for Darren? We have Alderman Kirkwood. Alderman Kirkwood.
Yes, Darren, is there anything for homeowners that you can do energy related to see how they're using their energy, losing energy from their homes?
Absolutely, Alderman. So we have our home energy audits. They could sign up for a home energy audit. We are doing these, we stopped doing them in person, but I believe we are doing them in person again, where we can come in and we can do an assessment for these customers. These are free of charge. They can sign, customers can sign up on our website or by calling ComEd.com at 800-EDISON-1. Again, that is a free energy audit that would be provided to customers. And I'll send more details on that to staff as well.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Taylor.
Can you repeat for me when you said the energy bill assistance program that there was residential customers, and was there another program or something that you named, and then there was income qualified?
For the energy For the residential hardship?
Yes.
Yes, just one second. So the residential hardship program is a grant of up to $500 towards a past due balance. This is available for income eligible customers who demonstrate hardship. And then there's the second program I talked about there was for the military. That was CHAMP. It's a grant of up to $1,000 towards a past due balance, and it's available for activated military personnel and veterans.
Okay.
And both of these programs are available while funds are available. I mean, it's January 4th, so they're available right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Any other
Thank you.
questions?
This is Alderman Bolton, yes.
Alderman Bolton, ma'am.
Yes, what is the timeline for applying for this program?
We suggest that customers just contact us. It's all supply and demand. So I don't have the details as to how long the money will last for. I know that we didn't run into issues with this in 2020.
Okay. Any other questions? Well, Darren, thank you very much. Really appreciate you. And we look forward to seeing you post COVID-19 to do this in person.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Happy New Year to you and your family.
You as well.
Okay. Item 3, audience time. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor Cunningham. Yes, we have 3 letters that we have received from the public. 2 are a form letter that has been received, and we will read it one time, and both names will be read, and then we have a third. David Motley from the city PR will be reading those, and go ahead, Mr. Motley.
The City of Waukegan received the same form letter from 2 recipients. As we are always looking to condense repetitive comments in the interest of time, here's a list of the persons submitting this letter. Raven Storm, Diana Sanchez. Dear Mayor Sam Cunningham and Waukegan Alderman, in solidarity with the recent Black Lives Matter protests, I'm writing to bring your attention to the death of Marcellus Stinnett under the oversight of the Waukegan Police Department. On October 20th, 2020, 19-year-old Marcellus Stinnett and his 20-year-old girlfriend, Tafara Williams, were parked outside of Tafara's mother's house when their vehicle was reported to police as suspicious. A Waukegan police officer pulled up beside them without activating his car lights or siren. Tafara opened the window and turned on her car's interior lights to indicate that the couple had no weapons and were not doing anything illegal. The officer, however, recognized Marcellus and verbally harassed them. When Tafara asked if they were free to leave, the officer took a few steps away from the car. Taking that as her cue, Tafara drove away slowly. The officer did not follow them. A short time later, however, another police car started to chase them. After about 20 seconds, Tafara tried to pull over and hit a telephone pole wire. The police officer pulled up next to her car when she tried to reverse. Upon seeing her reverse, the officer immediately opened fire, wounding both of them and causing Tafara to crash into the building. The couple was dragged out of the car by officers and were left bleeding on the ground without any medical assistance for 8 minutes. They were taken to the local hospital. Marcellus died soon after. Marcellus did not deserve to die. The officers should have never fired at their car. Tafara and Marcellus were unarmed throughout the entire encounter, and they never tried to hurt the police. The Waukegan Police Department has made a step in the right direction by firing the foremost offending officer, but this is not enough. We cannot allow police, whether presently employed or not, to kill unarmed people without any repercussions. Furthermore, we must fix our broken system that enables police brutality by funding alternative methods of safety for our communities. I ask that this case be thoroughly investigated and the police officers involved be named and held accountable for their actions in criminal court. Additionally, Waukegan must increase police accountability by providing transparency on the use of force against subjects with the statistics on the race, gender, disability, religion, and age of subjects made publicly available. Waukegan should also ask to have the state of Illinois follow Colorado's reforms in blocking qualified immunity as a defense for police officers in state court. I also ask for the Waukegan Police Department's budget to be further downsized to demilitarize the police force, and that the money instead be used for community services and alternative crisis interventions, especially for the homeless and the mentally ill. Doing so will make living in Waukegan safer for minorities who suffer the brunt of police brutality. The lack of police accountability is a stain on a group that alleges to serve the people and uphold the law. There is no justice if the police are exempt from the law. If Waukegan continues to ignore cases like Marcellus Dinette's, you will be complicit in upholding structures of corruption. Sincerely, BR. And the third is from Margaret Carrasco. My words tonight are directed to the hundreds of Waukegan residents who are construction workers. Wake up. On tonight's agenda, Cunningham wants to give a change order on another big new project for lots of dollar sign to his amigo Stuckey Construction without ever going out to bid, never even giving you an opportunity, Mayor. Isn't this illegal? Mayor, has Stuckey ever given you donations? Next on New Year's Eve, just like Trump, Sam posted the video on how tough this past year 2020 has been. And just like Trump, he lied again. He said the sinkhole on Washington Street, Mayor, had that happened in 2018, 2 years ago. AB sprinkler explosion, Mayor, that occurred in May of 2019. Obviously, again, it's empty upstairs. The mayor doesn't even know what year it is. And that concludes tonight's submissions, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Malley. That concludes audience time, Mayor Cunningham.
Thank you. Starting off the new year right. All right. All right. Item 4, consent agenda. And I'm going to go with a motion by Alderman Newsome and second by Alderman Moiseo. And I'm going to go from items 4A through items 4F and items 4I through items 4O. If I'm not mistaken, G and H have already been going to be held over. Okay. Are any other questions to the motion? Alderman Florian and then Alderman Taylor.
Can we pull out K?
Okay.
Thank you.
Alderman Taylor.
Can I pull out D and E? And then on the G and H, do we have to vote on that on the council floor, or because I think we moved it to be heard on the council floor?
No, it was gonna be held over, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Because they heard it in committee, it was gonna be held over because there was some other questions Alderman had. Okay. A motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Moiseo. Items 4A through F, 4I through J, 4L through O. Any other questions to the motion?
Did you pull out D and E?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I didn't read them. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Items 4A. 4A, motion to approve regular meeting minutes from Monday, December 21st, 2020. 4B, motion to authorize the mayor to issue a change order in the amount of $13,643.92 to Exxon, contract approved on April 23rd, 2020 by the City Council for the purpose of police-related technologies, including interview room cameras. This will bring the total contract value to be revised not to exceed an amount of $1,967,677.07. 4C, motion to authorize the mayor to issue change order in the amount of $51,993.61. Stuckey Construction Company, contract approved August 3rd, 2020 by City Council for the purpose of police facility improvements, including expansion of female locker rooms and evidence storage. This will bring the total contract value to revise not to exceed amount of $429,993.61. This project utilizes 2018 BGO bonds. Items F, 4F, motion to ratify the approval intergovernmental agreement between the Illinois Department of Public Health, City of Waukegan for the purpose of maintaining COVID-19 testing facility. Items 4I, motion to approve zoning calendar 2624, adoption of the Northern Lakeshore Trail Connectivity Plan. Item 4J, motion to approve zoning calendar 2627, conditional use permit for the dwelling units above the ground floor at 114 South Genesee Street. Items L, motion to approve regular payroll dated December 31st, 2020, in a total amount of $1,643,726.59. Motion 4M, motion to approve police department miscellaneous payroll dated December 31st, 2020, total amount of $5,916.04. Motion, I'm sorry, items 4N, the motion to approve civil service stipend payroll dated December 31st, 2020, total amount of $125. Motions 4O, motion to approve final payout payroll name dated on the agenda dated December 31st, 2020, total amount of $4,985.77. No other questions to the motion. Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye, sorry.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Motion passed, sir.
All right, motion is passed and carried. Motion by Alderman Taylor, motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Taylor. Motion to authorize the mayor to award contract with PPI Solution LLC to the plan review and inspection services for an amount not to exceed $90,000 per the fiscal year for the 5 years commencing May 1, 2020, expiring April 30, 2025, as recommended by the Building Commission following RFP process. Alderman Taylor, you had a question?
I don't have a question. I guess my statement on both of these is I have no issue with the people that we're giving the contract to. I just am concerned about giving a 5-year contract to somebody and making it so that other people can't bid on that during the process. They have to wait 5 years to do that. I understand what, the reasoning, but I still struggle with the 5 years. So that's just my opinion.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mayor?
Alderman Turner.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, and Happy New Year to everyone. Yeah, I have the same concerns as Alderman Taylor expressed, in addition to which both of these contracts actually started in May of last year, May 1st of 2020. So I don't understand how we start a contract 8 months ago, and now we're going to authorize it 8 months later. I don't understand that. And I have a very deep concern about the 5-year contract. And can we amend that here on the floor? Maybe go with a 1-year contract? And
No,
then,
sir. We're gonna move forward with the 5 years, up or down.
well, I'd like to amend that.
All right, the motion on the floor, is there a second?
I'll second if you want to amend it.
Yes.
All right, there's a second on the floor. The vote count would be to amend the contract. A aye vote is to amend, a no vote is not to amend. Motion, roll call, please.
Amend for 1 year?
Yes.
Yeah. No, Alderman, we went through this, we understand. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Nobody else is gonna do this for the dollar amount that we're asking. We ran into this many times.
Why 5 years? What's the necessity for 5 years? What's the
Sir, Alderman, we talked about this in you have an amendment on the floor. Roll call, please.
So you never want to discuss it.
Alderman Newsome.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Can you clarify this? So we're voting for it to be a 1 year?
Yes.
Okay. I would be willing to go to 3 years.
So is that a no?
Yeah.
No?
I guess,
This is the
yeah.
amend 1 year. For no?
No, I would go 3.
Okay, Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
So you're amending.
You want 1 year?
No, the aye is to amend, a no is not to amend.
No.
All right.
Alderman Seager.
No.
Alderman Mozio. Alderman Mozio?
No, sorry, I'm on mute. No.
Thank you. Alderman Kirkwood.
No.
6 no, sir. 3 yes.
All right, the motion fails. Motion on the floor is it was already read. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
I explain my vote, why I'm going with I. I understand that 5 years is a long time, but we're set at $75 an hour.
Not per hour.
Or per project that they inspect. And I do understand that these companies do have to still submit a bill to the city on what they're doing for each project. And so my vote is going to be aye.
Alderman Turner.
No.
Alderman Rivera.
No.
Alderman Florian.
No.
Alderman Taylor.
No.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seeger.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Call the mayor. Again, mayor has to vote.
Alderman, I'm sorry, Mayor Cunningham.
The mayor votes aye. Motion by Alderman, motion by Alderman Seeger, second by Alderman Taylor on item 4E. Alderman Taylor?
This is the same issue for me.
Same issue, okay.
So.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
No.
Alderman Rivera.
I'm abstaining from this vote.
Alderman Florian.
No.
Alderman Taylor.
No.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seeger.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Mayor Cunningham.
Mayor votes aye. Item K, motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Florian, to approve vendor payments dated January 4th, 2021, in a total amount of $485,500.17. Alderman Florian.
Thank you, Mayor. I had a question which I had sent to our finance department about two checks, number 488133 and 488147, which appear on this bill run. These were payments to a law group and an independent court reporter company for charges related to the ballot challenges that occurred back in December. And I understand, I got an email from Mr. Long. I understand that legally the city is required to pay these, but I feel that this is one of those areas where politics and governing kind of mesh a bit. The purpose of the election in February is for the Democratic Party to choose their candidates for the general election. And I just don't feel the city should have to pay these charges to someone who's challenging people to appear on the ballot. You know, that's the Democratic Party's issue, in my opinion, not the city of Waukegan's issue. And so I understand that that's the law, that's how the statute from the state reads everything. So anyway, I would like to pull those two checks out, and because I would like to vote no on just those two checks. I'll vote yes on everything.
All right then, ma'am, give me the check numbers, please.
It's 488133 and 488147.
All right, tell you what. There's a motion on the floor by, there's a motion on the floor. Now we need to do an amendment to the motion. The amendment to the motion is going to come from Alderman Florian, second by Alderman Turner. You want to second that, Alderman Turner?
He's on mute.
Alderman Turner?
He's muted.
He still should be able to hear me. He just can't talk.
He's thinking.
All right. There's a second. There's a motion by Alderman Florian, second by Alderman Turner, to amend, to pull out check numbers. Alderman Florian, please mention the check numbers, please, so we get them straight.
488133 and 488147.
Okay, those check numbers will be pulled out of the original motion. And I'm probably going to need the dollar amounts, and I don't have those. Tina, are you on the line?
One of them is 1,000 and one is for $1,178.25.
If I may just clarify real quick, Alderman Florian, I'm sorry if this wasn't, I didn't realize that you thought the law firm was related to the electoral board. The charge that was related to a board was the TIF Joint Review Board. So I believe the only vendor payment related to the electoral board on the agenda is for the independent court reporter.
Okay,
That's correct.
so we just need to pull the one out then, the 147, and it's $1,000.
Correct,
pull
that's
out
for
the
$1,000 even.
All right, so then we're gonna go, there is an amendment to pull out the check for $1,000 for
488,147.
488,147. All right.
Mayor, this is Alderman Bolton. I have a question. I need a clarification. The reason why we're pulling this check out because two different disciplines are crossing boundaries. Is that what I'm understanding?
No, let me help you out. Everybody, Alderman Florian does not want to pay the court reporter for the electoral board that is established by the city, state statute, for $1,000. That's why she wants to pull it out, because of her reasoning. It should be a democratic process.
But Your Honor,
yes,
Your Honor, let me get this straight. So we're pulling this out because we don't want to pay a court reporter who is nonpartisan. That's like not paying. Is that Alderman Florian? Do I understand you right? You don't want to pay the court reporter.
I'm not saying that I necessarily don't want to pay the court reporter. I wanted to be able to vote no on this just because I feel that process that happened, that ballot challenge, should be something handled by the Democratic Party, not by the city of Waukegan. That is not city business. That is the Democratic Party's business.
Hold on. So the election of someone by state statute on a ballot has nothing to do with the state, only with the party?
It's not an election of a person. It's the Democratic Party choosing their candidate. It's a primary.
How is that done?
That's the primary.
But how does the Democrat or the Republican pick their candidate? Do they just pick it, or do they vote for it by state statute?
They vote for it.
By what?
I'm assuming by state statute. Is that what you want me to say? But here's the thing. We as the city, why should we pay this $1,000 so the Democrats can decide who goes on the ballot? That's my point.
Or the Republicans, or Bob, real quick, let's do this. Let's everybody vote no on this. Bob, how fast would we be in court?
Tomorrow.
And how much would we end up paying more than $1,000?
Well, 3 or 4 times that much.
Okay.
This is Alderman Bolton. I have a question.
Ridiculous.
I have a question. This is Alderman
Bolton. Alderman Bolton.
Yeah, whether it's Democrat or Republican, wouldn't this court reporter represent either party?
She doesn't represent anybody.
Yeah,
okay. It's irrelevant. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes.
This is irrelevant.
Yes. So you know what, Alderman Bolton, I'm sorry, everyone. Alderman Florian does not want to vote on this. Let's kick it out and get on with it. All right. There's a motion on the floor and a second to remove $1,000 from the item, from the vendor payment of $1,000. Make sure I get this right. So the vendor payment there, I'm sorry. Let's remove the $1,000. So those who wants to remove it, is a vote aye. Not to remove it is a vote no. Again,
Mayor, I'm sorry to speak out of turn. This is Tina.
Yes.
And we've had this many, many years ago. Can't the motion be amended to exclude that one individual check, be voted on that way, and then have a separate motion just to approve that check?
Okay.
That way the vendor could still be paid, and Alderman Florian would then be able to vote no on that motion for just that check. That way.
Yes, that's what I was going to do, Tina. I was going to take it out of the total dollar amount and then come back and vote on that check. That's what I was going to do.
What if an independent is challenged? Are we going to do the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
are we?
I mean, the bottom line, Alderman.
Are we going to do the same thing? Not
the statute applies no matter what the election is, or whether they're on The Democrat, the Republican, the Independent, the Green, the Purple, the Blue, the Libertarian Party. The statute applies.
And I typically don't comment on this, but I think I have to. Alderman Florian, you are a registered Democrat, correct? Correct, ma'am? I think so, you are.
Yes, yes,
All
sir.
right then. So I've been doing this for 20 years. Others been doing it. This has been a part of our process. I'm sorry that you don't like the process. I think you probably need to go and speak with some of our state legislators to change the process. Until the process has changed, ma'am, there's nothing that we can do. I would love for them. So at this particular point, ma'am, we're going to move forward. I understand your political views or your social views on this particular issue. But right now, our job is to do the business of the city of Waukegan. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? We got one more. I got a question about Alderman Kirkwood on this, and then we move on for the vote. Alderman Kirkwood.
So my question is that we want the political parties to be more involved because this individual is a court reporter, which is nonpartisan. And so we're saying that we're not willing to pay this person, that we can vote wholly on this?
Yes, what we're gonna do is, so everyone can vote on the vendor payments, we're going to take out that check number and dollar amount, and then come right back and then vote on that vendor payment. That's what we're gonna do.
And so, Mayor, every time this comes up, we're going to have to do the same thing.
If alderman says they don't want to go for a vendor payment, yeah, that's part of our process. There are so many things to put on. I'm glad I'm part of the directors of the Illinois Municipal League. And I wish sometimes, Alderman, you would really be there and see what these mandates are put on by local governments. These are mandates put on us. Nothing we can do once they pass, they become law. But yet we have to pay for them, and then we have to sit here and do this debate on it. The motor fuel tax, they charge us, I'm gonna call it some juice, in order for us to get our own motor fuel tax. It was state statute 2 years ago. There's nothing we can do about it. We try to manage what's in front of us the best of our ability, and we move from there. None of us like it, but it's the process in which we have to govern it.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to wait anymore, but trust me, I think I can maybe speak for Alderman Newsom on this. Trust me, me and Alderman Newsom didn't want to be part of this challenge, but we have no choice in it. The state says we have to do it. We have to do it as the two senior aldermen. I stated my thing at all those challenges that I thought it was silliness and it's too hard to get people on the ballot. There's too many legal loopholes to get caught on. People should be able to run for office and make it easier, but that isn't so. Me and Alderman Newsom take God knows how many hours out of our days to come down there and listen to some of this silliness. But then now we don't want to pay a person for doing work? For a person that's doing their job? I don't get it. I don't get it.
I just want to say one thing too, as a court reporter, whether it's on a city level, a county level, a state level, they're providing a service. And that's all she did or he did, whoever the court reporter was, they provided a service and that's it.
Yeah, I don't think this should take up 20 minutes of our city of Waukegan business time. That's my personal opinion. So the motion is on the floor to approve vendor payments dated January 4th, 2021, in a total amount of $484,500.17. I did that right, yes.
Yep.
All right.
I'm sorry, Mayor, would you repeat that, please? What are we voting for?
We're voting for vendor payments right now. That's all we're doing. In a total amount of $484,500.17. No other questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mosio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Motion pass.
Motion passed and carried. Motion on the floor. There's a motion for check number 488149.
7.
147 for $1,000. There's a motion on the floor by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Moiseo. Any other questions to the motion? Roll
We're
call,
voting
please.
on for this person to be paid or not to
Yes,
be
this
paid?
this is for vendor payment of $1,000 for the court reporter. All right, so I would say yes. I want to go ahead and approve that vendor payment. Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Madam Clerk, I meant to say. Sorry about that, folks.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
No.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Motion's passed and carried. Thank you, everybody, for your help, as always. Items 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Closing items, Alderman's time. Madam Clerk.
Alderman Newsom.
I just want to wish everyone a happy new year and praying that this 2021 takes this COVID virus out completely is what I pray. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Alderman Turner.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. I just want to point out, we just approved 2 5-year contracts, and everybody here in this council is only elected for 4 years. So we're giving the guys more time on the contract than we get as elected officials. My comments in the 6th Ward, and folks who are listening, if you're in the 6th Ward or beyond, and you'd like to be on my email list, where I send occasional informational emails about the 6th Ward and things that go on in the city, please send me an email at keith@keitheturner.com or call or text me at 847-445-3788. Thank you and have a happy new year.
Tell the Pooch Happy New Year too, Alderman Turner.
Funny you should say that's his nickname, Pooch. His real name is Thor. It's
Thor.
Oh, I want to see.
Thank you. Alderman Rivera.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First of all, a happy new year to everyone on the council, the mayor. I also wanted the city clerk, obviously, Robert Long. I also wanted to indicate, as earlier it was indicated, that we need to stay vigilant with the COVID-19. I mean, we're still in the thick of things. We do have a vaccine shortly coming. And again, there is that website that was mentioned earlier to www.allvax in order to register for the vaccine. And I believe that was allvax.lakecountyhealth.org. Also, as mentioned earlier, to remember the alternate parking is extended to 11:59 a.m. So please keep that in mind. I also wanted to make a comment. There was and I guess this may be directed kind of a little bit more to corporate counsel, but we had an item that was put on the agenda, and it was the solar panel issue with Verde and Onyx. I requested to hold that over, and my understanding is that a holdover means that it's going to come up in the next meeting. And this one, for some reason, did not come up in the next meeting. So I want to know, number one, why it didn't come up in that next meeting. And then number two, the whole issue was to sign a letter of intent, and that's what was being held over, and the letter was still signed. So I just want a little bit more direction, because it seems like it's undermining the authority of the council if we want to have something with a little bit more definition. If we want more information on something, we should be able to, again, hold it over and have it come back up versus this one that did not?
Fundamental issue that is that the letter of intent is non-binding and it doesn't impose any obligations on the city. As such, I'm not sure why it came to city council in the first place. It wasn't asked myself whether to put it on the agenda or whether to ask council to approve it or not. I don't know quite exactly how it was decided to put that on the agenda, but once it was up there and the debate happened and there was this discussion, you know, by the time I saw it, it was already posted on the agenda. And essentially, you know, I wasn't terribly concerned about it because I've been involved with the Yeoman Creek Solar Project, and I've had conversations with quite a number of people that want to put solar panels on places like the Johns Manville property or on top of their houses. There was an entire solar initiative a couple of years ago when we made wholesale changes to some of the building codes to encourage and allow people to put solar panels in a lot of different places on their home and to reduce the necessity of reliance on fossil fuels and nuclear power in Illinois in particular. So I didn't pay an awful lot of attention to this. And when it was held over, I was surprised by it because I didn't expect this kind of a thing to be raised such a topic, because there are a god awful lot of places in the city of Waukegan where solar would be a great fit. And this is just one of the places. And all this guy was doing was looking for an opportunity to do due diligence and make a particular debate that would ultimately come before city council long before anything ever happened. It's not like he was going to go up there and start installing these things right away. So as a result, after it was pulled off the agenda and put on the hold, I talked to the mayor and said, you know, really, there was no good reason for this to have been on there in the first place. And that's the reason it got pulled. It had very little to do with politics or the rest of it, or with trying to deprive the city council of some jurisdiction. You were going to have complete opportunities to review whatever bids or look at what other competition there might be for this particular site. But there are an awful lot of other locations that could and should be investigated to try to make sure that we get as many solar panels up of the best quality, the highest technology, and all the rest of that stuff, and, you know, try to move us more away from a fossil fuel dinosaur sort of energy production into a true 21st century modality of trying to, you know, meet our energy needs. But that's the long answer of it.
Well, and I appreciate the information. My concern is, though, if something gets brought up to the council, whether it's binding or non-binding, you know, it's on council floor. A request is made to hold it over. In the meantime, it shouldn't be decided, oh, well, this really shouldn't have been done anyways. Let's just, you know, forget about it or move forward with it. I mean, I was under the understanding that if something is brought up to council, you know, unless there is a yes or a no, it stays in council. And this one kind of just, you know, disappeared. And I do understand it is a non-binding agreement that we signed. But yet, I just go back to the initial item. Whether it's non-binding or binding, there was an item that was brought to council. It was held over. It was supposed to come up in the next meeting, but then it disappears. It just kind of makes it a little bit difficult to keep track of the bouncing ball when things, you know, aren't going the way they're supposed to.
Alderman, let me first help you out with the first question. Your concern of why it was on the agenda. Madam Clerk and I talked to her earlier. We're going to find that out exactly why it should have been, because it was held automatically. So we'll address that. And as you know, None of us are perfect. We don't try to be. What we try to do is the best of our ability. But the second thing is, if I can remember, Alderman, I called you and I specifically spoke with you about this issue. And I told you there was someone that you know that wanted to do a letter of intent. We can do the same thing. I also informed you at that time, Alderman, because you were the only one objected to it, that we're going to go ahead because of the tax credits at the end of the year. You said I still wanted to come up. Again, we will address not that item being held not to come back on council floor. That's not an issue. But if I'm not mistaken, you were truly aware of this. And because I personally called you and you personally talked to me about it. So it wasn't like you were not know what was going on. The only thing should be outstanding is why it wasn't back on the agenda. And that part, Madam Clerk and I will certainly make sure when items like that are held over, they come back. And typically they do. So we're probably out of 9, we missed it on 10. So we do apologize for that and we can move forward. But thank you very much. And again, the office there stands. If there's anyone that you or any other alderman might know who can bring solar, not only to the water plant, I think, what is that? The water plant, the public works department. I don't know about the city hall building, but when I saw what I did at the Home Depot building, all of that, I just thought about the city of Waukegan. If a business of Home Depot stature can do it, then we can. And maybe that took that with the eagerness of this, non-binding, no liability excess. We went on for that. But I understand your point. Certainly we'll try to make sure those things happen again. But anything that's binding, I can rest assured, as long as I'm the mayor, that won't happen as far as not coming up again, Alder. But thank you. I appreciate you for calling me and we having dialogue about it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's all for me. Thank you very much.
Alderman Florian.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I wanted to express condolences to the Bernie Walther family. He passed away last week after shoveling his driveway, I believe. And he was one of, I guess you didn't know, Mayor, from the look on your face. Yeah, he was a great guy. He let his opinions be known and really made sure he called me frequently and let me know what was happening. So I express condolences to his family and friends and hope that they will find peace soon. So and then I wanted to address two things kind of related. With the snow coming this week, it came in my ward on garbage day on a holiday. And then, so we had people parking everywhere. We had garbage cans everywhere and it just got to be kind of a mess. So I know Alderman Turner had brought up doing a garbage can ordinance kind of thing. And I'm hoping that we can get some clarity around that. So people only have a certain amount of time to get their garbage cans back up into their property, especially down here on the other end of my road. There's a lot of condominiums, and the way they build them, they all bring their garbage cans right out to the same. So there's like 15 or 20 garbage cans on either side of the driveway. And then you had extra cars because it was a holiday weekend and then the snow. I mean, it was just a mess. So I'm asking people to make sure they follow the parking ordinance, and I'm asking people to make sure they get their garbage cans back up out of the road so the plows can come through, because they did the best they could, but it's a mess down there. And it was just bad timing because of all three things happening at once. But if we can address this garbage can issue, I'm sure there must be issues in other parts of the city with it at times also, but the condominiums are particularly a problem. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Alderman Florian, I will get on. I would ask building commissioners to speak with our code enforcement officers. It's time to knock on some doors. That's what time it is. We'll get that done first thing in the morning, man.
Mayor,
Alderman Turner, so like you got your hand up as well about the same issue.
real quick one, because this is something I think we spoke about back in October, whatever. We were going to get a amendment up on the ordinance around garbage cans. We were going to try and get it done by the end of the year. We maybe you and I need to have another conversation about it to refresh your memory, but I'd really like to get that up in this month or no later than February, if we can.
All right, we'll work on it.
I know
COVID-19.
we also had a shared concern about the charitable drop boxes where they're throwing clothes in and they end up out on the parking lot. So we're gonna roll all of that stuff into one amended ordinance.
Okay.
That jog your memory?
Yes, sir. I hear you loud and clear.
All right, cool.
All right, we'll work on that, Alderman.
Yes,
But
sir.
in
Thank
the
you very
meantime,
much.
we'll get our 7th Ward, the code enforcement officer, to knock on some doors, Alderman. I understand what you're saying. Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Alderman Taylor.
I just want to reiterate about the Christmas trees. As the mayor said, advanced disposals doing pickup starting today until Wednesday, January 20th. If you would like to recycle your tree, there's a couple of options. You can go to the Forest Preserve, and the closest ones, if you're in Libertyville area, would be Old School, and you would drop them off near the main entrance. If you, Waukegan Central, you can go to the Greenbelt, and it's next to the maintenance facility. If you're in Wadsworth area, Van Patten Woods is also doing it. And it's in the shelter A in the parking lot there. So that gives you options. You can also, there's a place in Kenosha, I think it's called Green Goats, that you can recycle if you want to let the goats eat the tree, but those are a couple of recycling options. I want to clarify a couple things as with all the aldermen, we go through this in our wards where people complain, hey, why don't I get a shot to bid on a job or whatever? So I think it's something that we try enormously to make fair to people. And that was one of my reasons for not wanting to lock us up for 5 years. I have no problem with the people who were awarded the contract, but I just feel like I'd like to see more people get that process to bid on something. Tonight, we approved a contract with Stuckey, and I know there were some concerns that this would be a new project. I looked at it as kind of that, but let me read the ordinance in fact of what it says. More than a 5% overture needs to get city council approval, which it did tonight. The mayor may determine when a change order significantly changes the scope, requiring it to be rebid. The mayor saw it as a change order, and so did our legal counsel. So that's why it was put as a change order and not rebid and put out. So I want to just clarify that for the public so that they don't think that, you know, why did this not go out? It was classified as a change order, and that was the process of how it was done. I want to talk a little bit about COVID. We now know that over 150,000 people have registered in Lake County to get the vaccine. But in the meantime, we're seeing people kind of forget the process. More people are looking at scheduling vacations. They're becoming a little bit more letting their guard down. And I want to remind people that it's still out there. It's still as dangerous as ever. I will tell you, it's personally hit my family. And so it hasn't gone. So please, please, I know we're in a new year and everybody wants this over with, but we are not done yet. And please register for that vaccine. Do whatever you need to do to make yourself healthy and safe, but don't let your guard down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Bolton.
Yes, I want to thank everyone, all our community donors that have donated gift cards such as Target and Myers and other companies to our community. On the behalf of our constituents, just want to say thank you. And just as the mayor had mentioned, make sure you follow the parking ordinance. Odd days is on odd number, even days is on even number. And I believe, Mayor, you had mentioned the time is from 12 p.m. till 11:59 a.m. Am I correct about that?
12:01.
Excuse me?
12:01 a.m.
12:01. Thank you so much.
12:01 a.m. to 11:59 a.m.
So once again, from 12:01 a.m. till 11:59 a.m. Correct?
Right after midnight and right before the PM.
Thank you so much. God bless everyone. We are definitely going to make this a better year. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Seager.
Just a few minutes here. I'd like to wish everybody Happy New Year. The whole council, the mayor, everybody, not only in Waukegan, Lake County. And please slow these cars down. It's icy out, and if you're walking, be careful on the ice. Don't let what happened to me happen to you. Because I spent 10 weeks in rehab. Okay, that's all I got. Good night. Thank you.
Alderman Mosio.
Pass.
Alderman Kirkwood. You're muted, sir.
Hate when that happens.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Madam Clerk. I'd like to wish all of my colleagues a Happy New Year. I would hope that as we progress through the year that we continue to try to work more closely together. One of the concerns that I have that we looked at the property on Green Bay, as we bring that to the council for a vote, those questions that are unanswered, that we get the answers so that we can come back and vote on that particular property, because certainly it's the main thoroughfare of the city. And we need to make sure that we're together on that particular property. Also, I want to make sure that our residents are aware of the ComEd situation where they can get some assistance, because many of my residents in the 4th Ward are hurting and need that particular assistance. So certainly I would ask that they go to the websites that have been talked about, and I'll make sure I put that out on my page so that we will have that, and hopefully the city will have those things out also. Also, we have a neighborhood watch meeting on this Friday. It starts at 6:00 p.m. Also, once again, we talked about alternate parking, our trees from January 4th to the 20th. Also, the MLK celebrations will be virtual. I would hope that as many of us can get involved in that. And then also those individuals, the seniors that need assistance, that we make sure that we help those individuals out. Also, I think the Public Works Department did a great job of getting our streets cleaned during this first snowfall, and also the side streets. And sometimes we just take it for granted that it's going to be done, but they're doing an excellent job, and we need to commend them, because other communities don't have the same service that we have. Even though we're the county seat, they did an excellent job. I mean, they came through the side streets, the main thoroughfares, and then they hit the alleys towards the ends, and they did a great job. Once again, Happy New Year to all my colleagues, and hopefully, like I said, we can continue to move the city forward. And don't forget about COVID, because it's real. And if you have not had a loved one affected, just keep living. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Mayor, that concludes Alderman time.
All right, I'm going to do a motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Bolton to adjourn. Before we go, shoveling your walkways. Shoveling your walkways. I know the kids are not in, but we have a lot of people walking in the streets, but everybody, just like no parking, shoveling the walkways. All right, there's a motion on the floor to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mosio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Motion passed and carried. But Alderman Taylor, goats in trees? I've never heard of that one. That's a new
They
one.
break the trees down and the goats can eat the stuff. One of the reasons I found out about this, and some of you may not know this, but I once got a call for 30 goats on a farm out here where I live. And it was like, you know, I thought, they're kidding me. There's no 30 goats. But what they do is they put them on the land to clean the property up of mice and all kinds of things. So this is a company, and I think they're out of Kenosha, that you rent the goats for a week to come and clear your yard. So this farm, you can donate the trees to and feed the goats. So I happened to read about it, but how I first became aware of this particular thing was because, yes, I got a call for 30 goats on a property one day.
All right. Never a dull moment in Waukegan.
I know.
Happy New Year, everybody. Alderman Taylor.
God bless everyone.
We'll be praying for you and your family.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Have a great week.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night. Good night.